hauntings, cryptids, the unknown. Welcome to Mystic Moon Cafe Radio.
You're listening to Mystic Moon Cafe. The views and opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, the network, or our sponsors.
A lot of Winnebagos, Cherokees, Ojibwa.
Right.
Okay, you
My
are
favorite
now
is
being
Economowalk.
recorded.
Tried to spell
Okay,
that.
we're being recorded now. Everyone behave.
And
Gotta
I'm
watch
going
our
to,
language.
I'm going to try to take us live.
Okay.
And not dead again. It's so nice.
Not dead. Live and not dead.
Wait, that means I should drink wine. I need to go live with wine.
Drink your wine.
I got
Like strawberry
Peanut butter
wine.
milk.
What's it?
You got
What's
what?
that song?
a peanut butter milk stout.
Oh, wow.
That sounds
Yes,
nasty.
Yeah. I might do that one.
It's
Like
good.
stout with
Ross
peanut
would like
butter?
it.
Terrible.
No,
Ross would like it. He doesn't drink, but he'd
sounds
like
gross.
it.
Yeah. Ross will only drink if it's, what's it, chocolate tequila?
Oh yes,
Ooh.
chocolate tequila.
Chocolate tequila.
I don't know about chocolate beer. Is that what you were describing?
Yes,
Chocolate beer?
it's like a Reese's chocolate beer. It's insane.
Pretty good.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like it's wild.
And it's wild, wild, wild.
Sparkling water, root beer.
Mm.
Very confusing.
Oh,
That's French.
I just drink the blood of virgins, so I'm good.
that was good on that part, man.
Good for the complexion. Makes the beard
Yes.
grow.
That's
Where
right.
do you find them? I didn't think they were a thing anymore.
You got to get them younger and younger these days. It's
I
really
know.
sad. Straight out of the womb. Like you sign up on a registration. It's a waiting list. It's terrible.
Great.
All right, click and go live. So
Go live.
Yeah.
boing.
Hey, everyone out there. Hopefully you are joining us tonight for Mystic Moon Cafe. And we're going to have another really, really fun, I guess we'll call it the Haunted Roundtable discussion. Or, you know, we may veer off the path a little bit, but, you know.
Because things happen. You know.
What
We're
we
just
do.
going to discuss all things. So, how is everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Well, from the looks of it, it looks like everybody's alive.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
everybody's alive.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
I have electricity this time. So that's a plus.
Yay!
That's even better.
Lights are
Go
on.
for electricity.
Man,
Well-
last time was rough.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so glad. Well, Becky, I was going to say you weren't with us last time. Would you like to tell us? I know you've been on our show before and everything, but with our panel here, why don't you tell a little something about yourself?
Well done, June.
Okay. Okay, well, let's see. I wrote a book last year finally. Yay.
Yay.
So yay. Kansas City Hauntings, History
Really
and
good
Mysteries
book.
of the Pairs of the Plains. Thank you.
I've enjoyed it.
I've been doing paranormal stuff since I was in college, and I was ghost hunting before I knew I was ghost hunting. I didn't know other people did that. What else you want to know?
Oops, sorry about that.
How about
There's my book. There's my
Wait a minute. Wait.
okay, we kind of see it there. We
There it
see
is.
a glimpse.
Every now and then it's teasing. Every now and then it shows up.
It's ethereal.
Oh.
Yes. It's ghostly.
Very much so. The ghostly book.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
But and everybody probably knows everybody else here. If you didn't tune in the show last week, and you know, or did you guys even introduce yourselves last week?
There it is.
I
There
think
it
you
is.
had them
It's
introduced.
disappearing
Oh,
here.
did
for
it?
you
I
too.
know. I'm trying to show it.
Oh, there we go.
Kind of. There we go.
There we go.
It's not
Plug.
just me
It's-
then.
The ghosts are
There we
covering
go.
it up.
Plug. All right.
Now, Jay, can you show all of my books?
Yeah, that shit's in the cabinet over
Ban 'em
here.
out.
We'll
Just
get to it.
ban 'em out.
A suitcase.
Ross is making me do a dress with all his books.
Nice.
So I'll have to, like, you know, put them on a dress and model
That's
it.
just because no one's buying them, so they just might as well just make something out of it.
Your books are amazing.
They're amazing. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. That's it.
Well, this
They
next
are.
one, oh my God, it's gruesome.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, this has been the hardest one. Me and David have been like on the phone, just like, oh my God, we gotta get through this book. It's just like, it's haunted prison. So if you can guess, yeah, lots of gruesome stories. And it's just
Yeah.
like right
Brushy
now.
Mountain State.
Yep, I finished Brushy Mountain, so that's in the book. And then it's just like right now I'm working on a old Civil War prison camp,
Ooh.
and just the stories of what they did to these guys. They basically starved them to death.
Wow.
Their main thought was, the guy, it was a Confederate, run by the Confederates, and so that it was they basically felt that if they could get these men in such poor condition, if they were ever released, they would not be able to return and fight.
Is that Andersonville?
Yes.
Man.
I visited there. That was
Yes.
Well, you can just think of the negative energy that, has got to be seeped into that ground in that area. I mean, really, it's just like, no wonder if it was really haunted that there are spirits still haunting the area. Like,
Well, it's not even just the negative energy; it's the suffering.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, that's what I meant. Negative
Suffering.
Yeah.
It's just like these guys who just are just struggling to try and stay alive. And little did they know that the end of the Civil War was just around the corner. This
Right.
prison was in operation for 14 months. So, but the conditions were just so bad. I mean, the only drinking water they had was a stream that ran through the center of the field because it was just an open complex. They basically had to make their own little housing out of sheets and clothing that they had sewn together to give them some sort of shelter. So they were exposed to the elements, and then to turn around and all they had was this stream for drinking water, which was already polluted,
Right.
because people were using it for the bathroom,
Feces.
for washing. And then of course, the guards were just throwing, their trash in the stream above it. So, they were dying of diseases.
The residual energy would be
Yeah.
Oh
intense.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Makes
Definitely.
you really wonder.
I always think about wars, and I think about the last person to die before the war ended.
Yeah.
Like, how would you like to be the dude that died like an hour before they called peace?
Thoughts.
Like, what the hell?
You already had, and
Yeah.
you didn't know it, and you got
Right.
killed anyway.
Right. Exactly.
That
Or
would
it
be
already
my life.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Crazy.
Jake.
There we go.
Jake with Ross's books.
Just two. You're letting me down, buddy.
Oh,
You let me
right.
down.
I
Don't
have a
make me go get mine.
library. It takes a while to go retrieve the books from the library after when I moved in like 5 months ago.
I was gonna say, listen, Ross, I have every single book, but my excuse is I'm moving and they're all packed.
Oh,
Show them. That's my excuse.
sure.
I have them all.
Yeah.
Lord. But do you have them all signed?
Yeah, there
Most of them.
Ooh.
I think 3.
Ooh.
and blood.
No,
blood?
but I'm not in blood. But now that you gave me the idea, I'm coming back around. I'm
Oh,
expecting that now.
look.
Especially if it's Ross's
signed.
blood.
Right.
Everyone can get
No,
this one on eBay.
it's
I'll
never
drop a
mine.
link signed by the author.
It's never my blood. It's
I
always
know.
June's blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give a pint or so that he can just sign books.
There you go.
It's like, here you go.
Just use your inkwell. Just dip it in. And...
Exactly.
No, you just do a tap. We just go and let it
There you
go
go.
down the finger, and
Yeah.
Run it on.
like
Well,
Aaliyah in the vampire movie.
Right.
I do have to give kudos to those who have written books. It is a lot of work, a lot of patience, and especially now working on the Haunted Prison book, and it's like I don't know how people write the crime books. It's like
It's heavy.
It
It's
is.
heavy.
I don't know.
There's a lot of
You don't
serial
like
killers in the
people.
one. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's tough for a while. You have to put it down, and I'm not going to go back to that for a few days.
Well, I get a lot of people, that always say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to write a book. I want to write a book. I want to write a book," and they never do it. And it's just
That's
because
me.
it really does take a certain mindset to really get yourself through that. So.
How long does it take you to write one book?
Well, for me right now, doing the series with David Weatherly, I usually can get through a book probably in about 2 months because I only have to do half the book. So that that's a nice factor with partnering up with somebody. You only have to do half the work. But I know for like my book, Spooked in Seattle, that took me about I'd say 6-7 months to write that one. So yeah, and that's again just staying devoted to it. I'd say on an average you'd probably take somebody about a year to write a book,
and it's a trend.
if you do the right research. I see so many people just wanting to copy paste what they see on the internet
Right.
and don't want to do the cold calling and try to dig up any information about these locations. And because I buy a lot of the books, I like having my library. You can see my library. I have a huge library. And so I like to use books as references. And it's kind of frustrating when I go to a book and it's just all the same stories that you can look up on the internet.
I see Jake's got my book out. He's going to out me.
Well, no, I was going to read one of the more.
I thought you were going to out me that it took me 20 years to write that.
Oh, no, I wasn't going. I will say it's a fun read, right? Yeah, I guess that's appropriate. But about 300, 400 pages, 350, I think, 350. Loads of true crime with Ghosty. But just to give a flavor for this kind of information, this is one of the more chipper stories from her book. And Becky Ray, I'm just going to read a paragraph.
Do it.
Are you ready? A dramatic reading of Kansas.
Can you do voices? I demand voices.
Me too.
I have to get in.
Voices.
On April 2nd, 1988, a naked man with a dog collar around his neck escaped from a Hyde Park home. He knocked on a neighbor's door where they took him inside and called the police. The 22-year-old told an almost unbelievable story about torture. He had been tied to a bed for days. He had been beaten and sexually abused. And he had also been, excuse me while I turn the page, injected with drain cleaner and sedatives. 6 other men who had been kept at Bob Berdella's house had not escaped.
Wow. I so remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That was a happy one, too. That was one that actually turned out good for someone. That was a happier story from the
How did you survive that, Jake?
Oh, see, my colon is coated with latex. So.
Oh, so wrong. No, I remember Bob Berdella like it was yesterday. I remember it on the news. I think that was my first, dealing, hearing about a serial killer and everything since I was, from Kansas City, and
wasn't
that was all that was on the news.
Wasn't that the same thing that Jeffrey Dahmer did too? He was injecting them with bleaches and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were both kind of doing the same thing, and Bob Berdella was big news, and then Dahmer came along and topped him because he also ate them. So Berdella kind of fell out of the news, and everybody's like, Dahmer's worse.
Yeah. But would you eat somebody after you put bleach in them? I don't know.
I don't know,
I'm not so sure.
Scandinavians do eat lutefisk, and that's with lye. So
okay, I feel it.
He was putting the Windex. Berdella was putting the Windex in their neck so they couldn't talk. So I don't know if he ate the neck. I don't know. Okay. Berdella didn't eat anybody. So.
Like Worcestershire, I ain't going to cover that.
Yeah.
Maybe some horseradish. I don't know about Worcestershire.
A little horseradish will cover everything.
Oh man!
Oh my
If
god!
I'll ever come up to Milwaukee, we can go ghost hunt for Jeffrey Dahmer. I got a lot of connections with the ghost tours, and I'd love to have you guys come up.
That would be wicked.
Well, we'll get our caravan.
We'll have
to pick Becky up on the way. Well, first we'll have to start off in Canada.
Yes.
And then Wendy's next. And then we'll just keep going.
Well, since Becky and I are in the same city, we can probably carpool.
Yeah, you
somewhere.
carpool together.
Meet us at the same place.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
We'll meet you at the Bob Evans off of I-10. I don't know if that's interstate. Actually.
So what are some current spooky events that are going on right now?
June, it's COVID. No events are going on right now.
Go outside.
I was just wondering, what were we thinking about current spooky events besides COVID? That's a pretty spooky event.
The winter event is happening in Alton, Illinois next month, but it's going to be very separated and only a few people are allowed in each room at a time. So I don't know how well that's going to work. But it's going to happen, and it's going to be cool. And I'm going to be there selling my book, so come buy my book.
Oh, cool.
Yay!
And then
What were you
we've
saying,
got a
Mike?
Vale Mansion coming up too. Yeah.
Oh, Vale Mansion. Oh man,
Yeah.
Ross, you would. I don't know if we drove by there or not. I don't actually think we did when we were in Kansas City, but that place is amazing looking. But
You
Very
probably
Addams
denied
Family.
me, June. That's just you taking me around through your hometown, and every time we got close to a haunted place, she'd speed up to 100. You can go right by it.
Oh, you just look a ghost.
I've ridden with June. She didn't speed up to 100.
no, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who can't go like 5 miles over the speed limit.
Ross survived in a car beat 3 times across country.
Oh God, yes.
You have survived that. I think my favorite was when we went airborne in my Challenger. We went off of a ramp somewhere. we were going to that it was this old abandoned doll cemetery in Kentucky, and we just went flying off. We were going over a railroad track, and I didn't see it went down, and I sped up too quick. You and I went airborne a little bit.
All right.
So you duked the hazard and the whole thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duked
yeah,
the
it's a
hazard.
Challenger, you
launch.
got to.
Well, that was that cemetery that I took June to.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, he does
Yeah.
take me to spooky places. I don't take him though.
I know. He denies me.
Oh yeah, that was pretty interesting. This is the Casey family cemetery, and it
Yeah.
was I guess from what I hear, you're really not supposed to go there.
Well, you're not supposed to go there at night. You can
At
go there
night,
during
okay.
the day. They just don't want. They will make sure people.
We were
aren't
there in the
wandering around
daytime.
at night, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
But-
cemetery that they claim there was a lot of devil worshiping going on in there. In fact, there is a newspaper article that talks about how people had visited the cemetery during the day and found the remains of all these animals that had
It's
been
so
sacrificed
sad.
there.
Oh.
So that is a true story. It's not like,
Mhm.
you know, everybody says, oh, you know, demon worshiping happened here and there's no proof of it, or some kids drew a pentagram on the ground, you know. But
Well, what was
Chicken
kind of
hawk
creepy
went
though.
by and chowed down.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we did an EVP session down in this kind of gully area. And the weirdest thing about the recording, and it was really something I know when I was listening to it and realized that there was absolutely no bird singing, no
sound.
whatsoever,
Yeah.
and barely hear
That's
us
weird.
talking. It was almost like it was
Wow.
this kind of not
Awful.
vortex, but
Like staticky.
Dome.
It kind of felt
Dead
staticky.
zone.
to me.
it was weird. Yeah, that was a weird
Yeah.
place.
When Ross and I first went there, we found like an abandoned car that was on fire right
Oh,
by the
that
cemetery.
had been set on fire. It wasn't burning at the time.
Yeah.
Just to clear up,
Glad.
We weren't doing that.
Clarifying facts. Yeah.
Yeah. If Michael was there, he would set it on fire.
Michael.
Ooh, fire, fire.
But no, yeah, that was one of the interesting stories too, is because the story is, just so everybody knows, the listeners and everything, is that yes, there was apparently some devil worshiping going on there, and they believe that they stirred up something, they conjured up something. Because ever since they started doing all this, the children that are actually buried in the cemetery are frightened. The spirits of the children are frightened. And so they say that if you visit the cemetery, because they don't get a lot of visitors, because it's in the middle of nowhere, literally nowhere. It's all down, you have to go down a dirt road,
Yeah.
a couple
It was
miles.
pretty
In
freaky.
miles,
Woods.
7 or 8 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, in the woods.
In Kentucky.
So,
Oh,
so they say
Kentucky.
that if you don't bring some special offering to the children, like a toy or something like that, they encourage toys,
Money.
or
Corn.
money, the children won't let you leave. And so people have had car trouble. You go back, go to leave the cemetery and you can't start your car.
It's not a place you want car trouble.
No.
Nope.
And so that's what the thing is like, it looked like one car had been abandoned there because they couldn't get it to start, or maybe they caught on fire. We don't know, but yeah, we found a car there that had been burned.
I gave you so many pennies to give to them. I was like, Ross,
Yeah.
just start throwing pennies everywhere. I don't want that to
Please
happen in
let
my
us
town.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious, but
But
yeah.
it's a pity.
Doesn't hurt. It doesn't
These
hurt.
could be like
That's
millennial dead kits now. They're like, if it's not a 20, I don't give a
Probably.
Fucking penny. What the hell is with the
I know
penny?
exactly. I'll put this in my slingshot and bean ya. But come on, let's be real.
oh my god.
But it's definitely an interesting place, and the thing is too, the gully is where they claim that the negative energy stirs, and that's why it's so quiet down there.
I didn't
because
feel negative or anything, but it was really eerie. There was, like I said, no bird song. There was no. It was just freaky. Yeah.
There's a presence there, big time. You know, you can definitely feel something going on.
I don't know. I just don't know. It was Kentucky. What do I say?
That's where the
In
family
a southern
tree doesn't
drawl.
branch.
Yeah. So Canada, Mike, you were about ready to say something. I think we cut you off.
Well, I
Sorry
was just
about
gonna say with COVID and everything, once COVID's over, do you think when you go to these investigations, activity will spike because there hasn't been a lot of people there? Or
That
do you
would
think
be interesting.
like a crap
Would
show?
be.
Or they
Well,
went away.
Well, the thing
Yeah,
is, I've often wondered now that people have spent more time at home if there had been a lot more reports of activity in people's homes.
Yes, there is.
So that was the big thing. So as to, getting a chance to go to a lot of these places, especially a lot of these places that I've been trying to get into because of COVID, I thought it would be a perfect time to get into some of these places that we normally can't get into because of, their business hours or,
Yeah.
different reasons. I obviously I've been turned down. We didn't get into a lot of places. So you are dealing with a lot of places like, the Turner Joy, which, we do all the time. It's been shut down since COVID. So I'm kind of curious, what it's like to go back on
Yeah,
board.
that'd be awesome to see that.
Yeah.
I can't wait, actually.
So that
As
kind of
soon as-
brings up then the theory if it's the activity heightens because of people being around, or they shy away with too many people around, and vice versa. So it would be kind of
Yeah.
Do they
interesting.
feed
to
off of
test
the
that
energy of the
theory.
people there?
I was
or
wondering
not?
that too.
Mhm.
Is it
Yeah.
they're just gonna say, well, we're giving up.
Well,
We're
unfortunately, we don't have any readings to verify because,
Nobody's
we don't
there.
have-
We
yeah,
didn't know
nobody's
this was going to happen to
there.
get pre-readings.
Yeah,
So just
exactly.
knock on the
For
door.
all we
They
know,
don't have a baseline.
Yeah, when
knock-
nobody's there, they're having a party right now,
Oh, you
It's
just
like our
knock on-
toys when we're kids. You walk out of your
Uh-huh.
room and it's a friggin' party.
Yeah.
No.
But you just knock on the door, put the webcam up in the corner. Don't mind us. Don't walk naked. Don't do
away
naked
slowly.
here unless you want to be like famous. And then we'll just.
That's what I'm doing. That's,
But also,
For
I think
all we know, Jake, the ghosts are naked. You just
that could
never
be.
know.
we don't even know, right?
We don't know. But let's
Yeah.
also think, because they were people too. We have introverts and we have extroverts.
Yeah.
Exhibitionists and shiners.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Pants and pantsless.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like me?
Yeah, yeah, we don't want to know how many are
Don't move the
pantsless right
camera.
now.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep the camera
Nobody
up.
stand up.
Zoom meeting.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Yeah, I booked an investigation at. I'm right now talking to the owner of Villisca, the Villisca Axe Murder House, and I'm looking at going there around March or April, roughly, for spring break from college. So, spring break, yeah. All the,
It's a lot smaller than you think it is, but it's
Yeah,
very cool.
It's very
I've
small.
heard that. I've heard that. It's
And you hear everything. And that's one of the things,
yeah.
I just have to bring this up. That's one of the things that I was really startled when we went in there, and you can hear everything in that
Everything.
house.
How did they sleep through what was going on? It
Yeah.
blows my
Really?
mind.
Well,
How did the
and I
think
neighbors
that-
not hear?
Somebody
Yeah.
would really have to be so quiet if they were, they think that somebody was hiding in the little attic area. Didn't they find cigarette butts and things like that too? That
Yeah,
somebody was
But
just
then
there?
there were cigarette butts in there, but they thought they could have been there from other times.
Past
And then
things.
everybody, the whole town paraded through the house. So anybody
Right.
could have
Mhm.
dropped. But the thing,
Yeah.
even if he was in there, or she, we don't know,
Yeah.
and came out and to bash people with the back end of an axe to crush their skulls, and nobody wakes up and hears it.
Right. Right.
and
and
you hear
holding the little
neighbors,
girls down, and
yeah. And nobody hears it. And, you know, every time I'm there, I can hear everybody on the street. I can hear everything going on in the house.
Mm-hmm.
How
Well,
did
just like
nobody wake
Amityville
up?
House, you know, where
Yeah, the
Yes.
Amityville house with the shotgun.
The
Yeah.
murders.
Mhm.
Yeah. How
There
did
was a
nobody wake up?
storm.
that.
There
Yeah,
was a
there was a
thunderstorm.
storm and everything.
Yeah, but
well, one
thunder is a
thing,
lot different than a gunshot,
yeah,
Absolutely.
especially
And a
if
gunshot
it's in
the
your house.
yeah.
Right. It's going to be crazy loud.
Right.
Well, one thing they said about the Villisca Axe murder house, there was a neighbor that lived right next door, and they said basically, didn't she have a nervous breakdown after 6 months after the incident happened, and then she died, or you know, a heart attack or something? But they think that she actually did hear everything that was going on, and she was very old and feeble, and she was too afraid to check to see what was going on, and this basically kind of wore her down.
Guilt,
Yeah, after a while.
further,
So
yeah.
it's very sad. But
It,
well,
it could have been even that it was timed with the trains going through, because the train tracks are
Right.
right
With the
there.
train whistles.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I don't know.
That's
It just
why
seems
when
so-
I am in dangerous situations when somebody's chasing me with an axe, I have June.
yeah, because I'm slower than him.
You only have to be
Now that
fascinated
is a
with somebody
true friend.
I
Yes.
know.
I seen it at Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Ross. I saw you leaving there in the halls.
Actually,
Like
you know,
run off.
I
June,
like
you
to be
stay here
alone.
and you get readings. I'm gonna go get more equipment.
Oh no,
I'd stay with you, June.
I know. I have Jake at least.
June,
And I'm
June.
trained to kill, damn it. U.S.
June.
Army. And raw maggots.
June, I'd make sure I get it on video.
Okay, thank
Right.
you. If you at least get it on video, that'd be fine.
Your memory will live on.
Yes.
Yes.
Forever.
Because we'll
Maybe for a
record
good
it all.
cause.
Yes,
Yeah.
that moment.
well documented.
Over and
Make a
over and
special
over.
show.
A very special show.
June being eaten
Sing
alive.
June on the next Mystic Moon Cafe.
Yes. Just have the in memoriam video, Jake, that you can make.
Don't worry, and we'll set up
And
a
then-
GoFundMe for your cemetery, even though
That's
we've already thrown you on the
right.
charcoal and stuff
Yes.
like that. Whatever.
Oh, so
That's
sad.
twisted.
Yeah.
She knows I love her.
Yes, I do.
And we are on a show talking about dead people, so
We are.
I'd be
We really
afraid of
will see
June
dead
haunting
people.
me, though.
Um,
If I was the cause of June's death, I think I'd be afraid of June haunting me.
no, you know.
yeah, but
Gonna
we,
do
knows
that
where you-
anyway.
She knows where you live.
but we might be able to pitch that docu-series on Discovery Plus.
Right.
Ooh.
True. That is true.
I always say it's all for science. It's all.
That would be a first.
You saw it first on here on Mystic Moon Cafe.
Oh my gosh. So wrong.
We still love you, June.
Completely.
I know.
Let me drink more.
Yes, drink more, please.
All
So does
right.
anyone have any ghost hunts prepared for this new year?
I kind of did one today.
Tell me
Oh,
everything.
you kind of did one. Yes, I saw your footage.
I've been doing interviews of different paranormal investigators, psychics, ITC people, anyone basically in our field, and kind of under the blank of us, of the paranormal. And I interviewed a gentleman, Bill Hauser, who does ITC. So he's got like a billion different ghost box, spirit boxes, like that's his jam. So we were in an old pioneer cemetery, 1800s, and I was just starting to do an interview on him. And I had 2 Sony cameras all charged up and good to go, dying. His ghost box dying. No birds heard anywhere.
Hmm.
Very creepy.
How cold was it there, though?
+6, +7. Jake, what's that in American?
Like 41, 42.
Yeah.
So not too bad like it is here.
Celsius,
This is what happens
Fahrenheit,
when you
carry
got
on.
a binational
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. He came and checked on us. see what
Interesting.
we're
Ooh,
doing.
T-shirt
Yeah.
weather. Hmm.
Yeah, t-shirt weather in the Midwest. Right?
Yes.
I'm freezing up here. I'm from Tennessee originally, and I'm dying up here. I'm in Wisconsin right now, and I'm like, oh my
That's a
God,
difference.
this is-
Yeah, that's a little difference.
It's a difference.
Oh man. Well, do we want to get into our fact or faked now?
Sure.
Or do we
Sure.
want to discuss
Why
more
not?
things? And we can always discuss things later too.
Well, let's start with Canada Mike.
Yes.
And I will show the King 5 video for everyone. So bear with me while I use my sharing technology. Yay! I will say when this video ends, there might be I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, so we might see some drag queen stuff in the little squares that pop up here, but let's just roll with this. King 5, I think Evening Magazine is right here in Seattle. Let's let this puppy roll.
Let's see, how do I put this?
I just don't know if it's good or bad.
Adrienne King sees dead people.
I see things through the photos.
See, at first, she thought there was something wrong with her camera.
In every picture, there's something.
Shot after shot, filled with mysterious lights, orbs, and auras. Things that looked like moving lights in places where there weren't any.
We have a technical term
Spots
for this.
that looked like rain on a perfectly dry night.
It's some type of energy.
And when she changed cameras again and again,
I've used probably over 5 digital cameras.
the ghostly photos just kept on coming.
It's not a coincidence.
Adrienne says it all seems to have started a few years ago, after a near-death experience she prefers not to talk about. The chills and spine tingles she'd been feeling her whole life grew somehow enhanced.
It feels like somebody's watching you.
Adrienne set off on ghost hunts, and her camera did not disappoint.
No matter where I go, I seem to get something somewhere.
In a local church, is it an orb or an angel hovering over the Holy Bible?
That one's really exciting.
At the Jimi Hendrix Memorial, a beam of light seems to shoot from the ground below, and a vortex of light at the end of a rainbow. Today, Adrienne's returned to the place she found most haunted, the former site of a bakery outlet in Shoreline.
The picture here with the girl sitting on my friend is the scariest one I've ever seen. Whoa. See that?
Even Adrienne's daughter, Kaylee, is adding to the mounting evidence that something strange is going on here.
Oh, she got one.
Some people might say it's nothing.
How old
But
is this?
Adrienne King and her
It's
haunted
3 years.
cameras have the photos to suggest otherwise.
Yeah, there is no excuse for that.
I want to know more about it.
So I think this is local.
And
Yeah,
I've never heard of her.
me either.
Well, Adrienne
there's
King
something-
is also the survivor girl on Friday the 13th. That's her name.
You're right, the
But that's not
actress's
her.
name. Yeah.
You know, there
That
is
was-
something going on, and it's not the camera. It is the photographer. She's motion blur, and she doesn't know what she's
Yes.
doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I have
horrible.
plenty of those pictures too, especially when I've been
Horrible.
drinking.
Yeah.
You know, back when I used actual film, I
My
The
late
rods.
karaoke nights look a lot like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
we
can't
could
believe
say-
that was on Evening Magazine.
I know,
know.
that was
That's a
horrible.
little weird.
I think
The
it was
fact
a
of the
slow
matter-
night for them.
The fact of the matter is she's using cheap cameras. And
Yeah.
people
Yes.
don't seem to understand that the closer the flash is to the lens, the more
Bingo.
easy it is to pick up
Mhm.
a lot of the dust factor. So that's
The
what will
orbs.
explain a lot of the
slightest
orbs.
bit of dust
And the
is gonna-
rods
and
is
the
an open
light
exposure.
spectrums are just you can see they're all in the same pattern. That just means
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
was her movement when she took the picture. When
Why, when you
she's
see a
going with
professional
the
camera, the flash is way up here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
See
not
my
right next
camera.
to the
I hardly have
lens.
any orbs on my.
so it's
photos.
it's one of those things that it's just slow shutter speed. That's why she's getting a lot of
Mhm.
those light
Ugh.
traces and everything.
Doesn't
but-
know how
Don't
to
even
use
All of
start
them
on the
demons.
orbs.
All
All
of
the
them.
Curious
orbs.
about the near-death experience she doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
because there wasn't one.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, no details?
Yeah, I thought he was going. She doesn't want to talk about it. So here is the
went to-
story.
Yeah.
to taco
So we
time, and
made
that
her.
night I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was dying after
The
taco
taco
I
was
time.
on
choked
the
on
wrong-
a tater tot.
What's the tater
A
tot? that got
Mexa fry, thank
My
you, a
life
Mexa
was
fry.
flashed before my eyes, and it blurred when it did.
stuck? And I knew I was gonna die. I knew I was gonna die, but thank you, God.
The
Jeez.
mass of
life.
orbs. Let's just
No.
be real.
That's it. I can't
She
hold
lives
my
in
camera
Seattle.
still.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have a
but-
lot of
Right?
to be
There's
honest,
a lot of
know,
rain.
Yeah.
I know it's fun to make fun of this situation,
I
but
know.
the sad thing is you get a lot of people out there that just don't educate themselves.
Right.
You
They
know,
don't
so
know,
for
right.
her,
Well, and they get angry.
she probably believes that she's capturing
Yeah.
paranormal phenomena
Yeah.
And if
because she
she
doesn't
were to
understand
ask,
the
what do you
equipment.
think? And we told her the truth, she would be angry that we were taking
Yeah.
her
Well,
yeah,
you don't know
taking
anything.
powers away.
How
Yeah.
many times have we gotten that? If we
It's-
did, you know, we try as nicely as possible. Most of us try as nicely as possible.
Uh-huh.
Just say,
They get
you
offended.
know, I'm really sorry, but you know, I think 99.9% of all of orb photos are usually dust, moisture, lint, bugs,
Bugs.
you know.
Mhm.
And then what do you know?
Right. I called you as
You
the
weren't
expert,
there. It was a
but what do
ghost.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. My clinical diagnosis is some therapy and lithium. That go a long way to helping your photos.
Lithium sounds nice.
Absolutely.
You know, but I mean, if we really, I'm just going to go be mean for a minute.
Go ahead.
If we really want this out of the field, just say, especially you, Sonia, as a healthcare professional, I think you might be seeing things that really aren't there, and that you might need some kind of psychotropic drug
Yeah,
to help.
yeah, I would say let me send you to the professional that knows all about this. It would not be June and Ross. It would be Dr.
Or you just say, "Oh, that's a demon from hell, and it's haunting you for eternity. You need to repent and burn the camera. Burn the camera.
You are possessed by a demon. I sense
That's
darkness
right.
within
It's
you.
gonna rip your soul out. Have you seen Drag Me to Hell? Did you piss off a gypsy woman?
I like
Damn
that.
it.
You need to buy all of my stuff. And you need to build a fortress around your bed with everything I have to sell. And then you need to buy it again in a month. And another month.
Yeah. Let me get you talking to Madame
subscribe.
Claire Reese, and we're gonna get you a
Yes.
little hoodoo, voodoo, juju going on here. Get those nasty spirits off your back. All right.
Stir up some of your blood and your pee and your hair.
But what annoys me the most, though, is that somebody like that got the media
On the
attention.
news.
Yeah. How in the world?
There's other people watching.
There
that
was
that are
really
gonna fall
nothing
for it.
about that story that made it intriguing. You know,
Yeah,
just
no.
somebody taking pictures. Okay.
Were they
It was a slow
desperate for a
night.
story?
Well,
I
it was
Right.
that was October 17th, 2017.
They're like,
so
we
it
don't
was
have
Halloween
anything
time.
ghostly. We need to find somebody. Oh, you know, I think my cousin, she probably, she says she sees orbs and she takes all these, you know, ghostly pictures. Well,
She
let's
drinks
have
a
her-
lot and her hands shake.
Yeah.
But let's talk to her.
little palsy, but she's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's terribly mean. You're right.
Yeah,
But
her,
yeah.
her brain was
Send hate
only
mail
oxygen
to
deprived for
Ross.
10 minutes.
All the hate mail goes to Ross.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Canada might
It goes to ghostly activities.
bring it. I know how to,
He's
I
used
know
to
how to
it.
wrap all those bots.
Ross is the
That's
only one
fine, bring
defending
it.
her, saying she may actually believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
I was
mean,
yeah,
Really nice
yeah,
one.
okay.
He's trying to side with her a little bit. You say,
Canada
at least
Mike,
she
this
believes
what Canada Mike did submit this video, so let's
Yes.
give Canada Mike
Ooh, yeah.
a chance to
I'm
respond.
just sitting back and listening. It's
This amazing evidence.
exactly what I thought would happen. I like it. I agree with you guys. Obviously, it's orbs, it's light anomalies, it's
A
a
demon,
demon
from hell.
obviously.
You know,
But
I
realistically,
didn't see any red ones though.
no. When you get newer investigators in the field,
Yeah.
an orb is like that's like gold. That's like they just won the lotto. How do you talk? Because when I've talked to newer investigators, they get really uppity or defensive. That we're being snooty and discrediting them just to discredit.
Uh-huh.
I always
you
find
talk
the
to
best way to support the topic is to just show them an example. Take something, like a feather duster and shake in front of the camera and have them take pictures with their camera.
Yeah,
And
Even just a
they'll see
flashlight, just hold
all-
a flashlight beam
Yeah.
and say, look,
Yeah,
you can
well,
see it in the light.
Yeah, but it's going to be better when they actually capture it with their own
Yeah.
camera. The camera, especially if they say that they captured the original orb.
True.
You just shake something in front of their camera and
A little
have them
mist
take
bottle
pictures,
too.
and they'll
Squirt
see
bottle.
they'll see exactly the same results.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people tell me that, you know, depending on the color of the orb, you know, it depends on like if it's legit orb or not. I'm like, no, it just depends on the dust particle. You know, it's going to reflect different colors depending on what it's made of.
They actually have a chart. I was going to say they actually have a chart out there that's supposed to have the different meanings of the different colors of orbs.
And if you want to
told
get
you guys last time I was
technical-
on that they said it was moods, that the different colors are the mood of
Right, right.
Their aura.
like a mood ring.
Their aura, exactly. The
Yeah,
aura of
Lord.
the orb.
And if you want to get super technical, part of dust is our skin.
Right.
So technically that could be grandma. You don't know.
It could be.
Grandma's
If you hadn't
skin.
dusted in 10
Grandma,
years
just
and grandma
what you
died
hear?
5 years ago, it could be grandma.
But
Oh.
let's
It
just
could
say
be ashes too. You know, if you throw that out there, you get lots of orbs.
Look, it's grandma. Yeah.
But you know,
That
if
is,
if it's your dead skin cells, there's probably some grandma DNA in it.
Right?
Mitochondrial,
saying,
you
you
know,
can't say
going
it's
back
not
to
grandma.
Eve, you know.
Technically.
Shall we
That's
get
what
to
they
our
say.
second video submitted by Canada Mike?
Or you mean the other mic?
Canada Mike.
Canada
He sent.
Mike.
He sent.
Oh, you sent another
us-
one. Okay, sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you missed.
And
That
this one.
selfish bastard taking up all the time.
What the hell?
Hey, you be nice to the Canadian.
Blame
Those
Canada.
Canadians.
I will sick my
Canada.
dead grandma
Blame
after you.
Canada. Sorry.
Okay.
I can't
So
wait
this
to
one-
see
this one is
Ross's
coming-
reaction with this one.
Say what? Huh?
This is a direct go for Ross.
Oh.
So I would like to say that this one is coming from the Netherlands, though I think they speak English in it.
Yep.
But the title, I'm just gonna have to say it. Wanneer gasten je aanvallen?
That
Are you,
that sounds
are
right.
you are you being real with that?
I am. I am.
Clean
When you
that
see
off.
it, it's gonna be wanneer gasten je aanvallen.
I don't see any spit on the screen, so you didn't do it right.
Well, no, because I have my little
That's a
hello.
solid
Look, I
9.
have this
That's a
thing
solid
blocking my
9,
face.
Jake.
Look,
You did
oh my
so
God.
well.
Look at my phantom mic.
It's weird, right?
Oh, there it is. Look at that
It's
bush.
like right there, dude. Just it's a little moist. I'm
Do you
rubbing my
realize
mic.
we're in a pandemic?
stroking
You're
your
supposed to
mic.
Keep that stuff to
Stroking my
yourself.
mic. Okay, let's get to this video. Eh?
Oh my God.
All the way from the Netherlands with everyone speaking English. Here we go.
Oh my God, look at that thing. To the nuns of the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. Uh-oh. There's a scratch on your back. Looks like you scratched your back, though. Where? All over?
Looks like he needs to pull his
Like
pants
literally
up.
all over your back.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? No, it's coming through your shirt. No fucking way. It's like it's getting darker as we're talking, man. Look at it.
That was actually pretty short.
Oh, that was it.
That was it. It was like half of it. It was only half the. Okay.
And
Let me stop the share, and let's go to Canada, Mike.
in my opinion, just from looking at his wound, I think that's an old wound because it was glossy, but it wasn't actually wet. So
I was gonna say it looked a little scabbed over. I mean,
Yeah,
the
if it was
bloody part.
fresh.
It
Yeah,
looked like he tried to maybe scratch his back a little bit and open it.
Mhm.
Or even
Yeah.
Well,
bump
we,
into something or
we can validate that we've known people to scratch themselves to
We don't
get
want to talk
attention.
about that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Touching
Yeah.
themselves? What?
Different show.
With sharp
Different
objects.
show,
It's
Jake.
awesome.
Different show.
That's Saturday night after 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got a couple of more hours.
So for me, just watching that, it's like, what do we get out of it? It's just a scratch. Is that what we're discussing?
It was like so the way it was edited and shot, it just
Yeah.
jumped around. So what the hell are you supposed to get
I
out of
didn't
that?
know what
Yeah.
I was supposed to be looking at or anything like that, or if we're just going to focus on just the scratch.
Was there a shadow that might have done it? I mean,
Yeah, we didn't
what's-
see anything other than him molesting that doll.
Yeah.
Right? And
Oh,
needing
a
a
few
belt.
years ago. Was it even?
Somebody
I think
buy
it was
the man a
even years
belt.
ago. Yeah, right. Pull his pants up. There was all the TV shows for a while. They went through a thing where no matter where everybody went, somebody got scratched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that video is from 2020, summer of 2020.
Yeah.
His scratch looked like something. The pattern of that scratch looked like something fell on him. And or he fell on something. So
or a dog jumped up on him.
Or a dog jumped up on him. Or there was some sort of motion that started at the top and just swirled down really quickly, causing an abrasion. Right. And it's hard to tell in the quality of the video because it was kind of pixely for me, maybe just my Wi-Fi. It's hard to tell if it was fresh.
It wasn't a very crisp video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And so away. They never gave you a long look at anything.
Yeah.
Right. So the hard part is without seeing an unedited video with his back not cut.
Well, let me go back to
his back before they started.
Just wait.
Right.
I've got it paused. Here we go. Now we can look at the scratch all we want. So it does look a little old.
Yeah.
Look, there's a scab.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like it had a little scab there that he might have.
Can you tell any glasses? I'm like.
Yeah.
I mean, and for all we know, he could have slipped and fell on something because it wasn't exactly, and he fell back and.
He could have just had a scab there and reached back and scratched himself. I have a. Here's some disclosure.
Ooh.
I have a medical condition called mast cell activation syndrome.
Ooh.
And what that means is that my histamines kick into overdrive, so I can just run my fingernails down my arm.
And you're bright red.
And in about 10 minutes, that's going to raise up as big red welts.
Yep.
And
that's really
sometimes
interesting.
when I see this stuff, I wonder if that's what's going on with these people.
Well,
and that's exclusive from top-selling author Becky Ray on the Mystic Moon Shadow. Mystic Moon. What's our show? Mystic Moon Cafe.
Honestly, like just
Go.
super pale white people. Like this guy is a super pale white dude.
Right.
They turn red super easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. Yeah. I can just scratch my arm and here in a second, that's going to be bright red. I mean, it's not.
See, mine's starting to burn where I did that a minute ago.
Yeah.
I'm getting that burning feeling now. So I can pretend that I didn't just do that.
We actually know a guy who used to carry a fork around on the investigations, and when people weren't lurking, he would actually go and scratch himself, and then run out going, "Oh my God,
that's
look!"
infuriating.
What?
Yeah.
A ghost had someone that did that shit?
No, some guy.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Some guy.
I was gonna say you kept them on. I hope
person.
they're paying. I was gonna say I hope they're paying a lot of dues every month. Do we need to talk about this one more, or should we go to Sonia's classic 3 Men and a Baby?
Yes, I have a story. I have a backstory before we watch the.
All right.
The backstory before or the backstory after?
Before. So
okay. Well, let me stop sharing this so we can go back to you.
My face.
And then Sonia, tell us.
I don't know how many people are as old as me, but or older. We won't name names, June.
That's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm older too.
But back in 1986, it's Dye and the Blood of Virgins. I'm telling you, I'm older and I love it.
You can't have my virgins.
I was gonna say Ross and I subscribe to the same delivery service. Back in 1987, there was the movie The 3 Men and a Baby, and so it's the haunting is that the story goes that the apartment that was used to film the scene that we're going to show you the still on was vacant. And the reason they could rent it out to set up the set and film the movie in was because tragically a boy had shot himself with a shotgun. He committed suicide in that apartment, and the grieving family had just packed up and moved out and cleared out. And that's how the apartment became available. And so in the movie, there's actually a scene where you can see the ghost of the boy that shot himself with a shotgun. So that's the prevailing story. So if you want to.
Okay, let me select this. And as you're watching the video, folks, it will come at about the 37-second mark.
Watch in the window.
Let's play.
Yeah, the window.
Just like you.
You know, you boys live like pigs.
Oh, Mom. Look, there. Isn't she beautiful?
There she is. Are you kidding me? I'm going to pick you right up. Yes, I'm going to pick you right up.
Oh, I'm in awe. I mean, look at you. You pick her up like a pro.
I pick her up like a grandmother. That's called experience. Darling, I see you. Oh, she's so lovely. What's her name?
Mary.
Mary. Oh, Mary. Look at the way she's looking at me.
So,
I've seen this clip before. I've seen this. Yeah.
I'll let you guys go because I know this one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I know this one too.
Yep.
Anybody have anything they want to say?
I was working for a video rental store, and people would rent this and pause it at that the spot until they wore the tapes out.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I heard a different story. I heard that the kid had fallen out of the window.
Falling out of the window was another one I
Yeah.
heard too. Shotgun and window. Jumped out the
Shotgun.
window or used a shotgun. I've heard both.
Yeah.
And so there's also a story that the mom ended up suing Disney for using the likeness of her son in their movie and causing trauma.
Oh yeah, I could tell exactly what he looks like.
Yeah, totally can tell it's her son.
Yeah.
What's really funny is there is a scene that was cut from the movie that explains that cardboard cutout.
Yep.
But
But we don't know.
Ghost, it's her kid.
Yeah, you don't know because it's cut until later. And actually, the true story is that it is a cardboard cutout, and that's actually a soundstage. That's not an apartment at all. Like nobody lived there. They built the whole apartment out in that soundstage. So there's not even a chance. That
Wasn't
it
it supposed to be like Ted Danson as a kid? Like, just a...
Steve
it was some
Guttenberg.
ad. Yeah.
Oh, Steve
yeah.
Gutenberg?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he even said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ted Danson said in his interview about it that he thought Disney actually perpetuated the reason that they didn't squash it is because video sales went through the roof.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah,
So when this
like,
rumor
I'm telling you,
started to
people would break
spread,
it. They would pause until they
yeah.
broke the tape on this thing. So yeah.
Yep. So rumors started to spread, and so they didn't stop the rumors because their movie was selling like hotcakes. So they just let it run.
Well played.
And didn't stop it. And I like this one because it caused such mania, and the power of suggestion is so strong for people.
This is pre-internet.
You know?
This is before you could get on a message board and
yeah.
post about it.
You had to
This is
rent the
word of mouth.
VCR.
And this is before 4K. Come on, you probably would have been able to see the detail.
If we had better quality TVs and it wasn't a 12-inch, box, then you probably would have seen
19-inch was the big screen.
Just looking at just looking at it from being paused on this poor quality, you can kind of tell that it's flat.
100%.
Yeah. Well, in the movie, it doesn't pause there, though. It just pans by it so fast.
Right.
And unless you had the video to pause it, you just see it so fast. I can see where, people seeing it as a movie would think, what was that? Go back. And until home video, they couldn't do that.
That's good drama.
You know what always gets me are the people that see these kinds of things.
I know. They're paying attention to the background.
You watch.
How did you catch that? Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I was like, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of those people, and it's kudos to them to be able to see those. I love having those kind of people in the group and or to watch our videos because they'll look in the background and see things that you can easily miss.
Easter eggs or
whatever
it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have. I was thinking about it, and I got, like I said, I've been doing data entry forever, but also the story of the Wizard of Oz with the
the Munchkins killing themselves.
Hung himself.
Yeah.
And found out I think it was
it's a stork.
Yeah.
It was something that fell or something.
It was actually a stork. It's a live bird in the background moving.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And when I first saw that one too, I was like, I saw the stork right away. And people are like, "Oh no, there's somebody back there moving around," and they say that he was swaying because he was hanging in the background. But it's a stork. If you look closely, you can see it's a stork that they had because they had live animals
in the
on
movie
the
theater
stage.
to really make it out well. I'd look even on the TV and everything, but I went and saw Wizard of Oz on the big screen because why wouldn't I? We had that opportunity, and it was really awesome, and it was so obvious it's a bird when you see it on the big screen.
I think I remember that. But so many people thought, that's what happens. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad.
I bet sales went through the roof. And that's the thing is that with these movies like 3 Men and a Baby and Wizard of Oz, if
they come out in
like
video,
that
DVD.
Started, they just let them fly. Of course, in the digital age, it's a little tougher now. But back then, it was really easy to boost
video
sales.
quality was so poor too. Easy
Yeah.
to make those mistakes.
Yeah, what is it? The Poltergeist is another movie that's supposed to be cursed for all the actors. Right. Something bad happened to them. And then The Exorcist as well. Another movie that's cursed. A lot of deaths around the film.
You hear all those stories. I mean, there were a lot of bad things that happened.
Or is it Jet Li? Not Jet Li.
Crow from The Crow.
And The Crow and his Brandon Lee.
It's so sad.
That one was creepy. Brandon Lee and The Crow. Yeah.
Right.
Freak accident.
That's a great movie too.
Yeah. I mean, who has a loaded gun on set anyway if it's a prop? I mean, that was the thing.
Well, it wasn't loaded. It was actually a blank that killed him.
Oh, it was a blank that did kill him. Okay.
Yeah, if you do it too close,
wadding
it
in
can.
it.
Yeah, if it's too close, sure, for sure.
Yeah,
and there was still wadding in it, but it was a blank.
Oh,
so it was just it was a series of mistakes that led up to
unfortunate
that.
event.
Someone was supposed to check
Yeah.
this, yes, and someone didn't check it right, and it wasn't loaded properly. It was just a whole series of things that happened that if one of those things hadn't happened, it wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't.
Final Destination.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Exactly.
Damn.
Well, who's that actor from that?
His number was up.
That series, The Voyagers, where that guy and the kid goes back to time. It's the 80s, and that guy he killed himself by accident too.
John Eric Hexum.
Yeah,
John Eric Hexum.
Yeah,
he was so
again,
cute.
same
was
thing.
tragic.
He was
That
playing
was
around with
tragic.
a prop gun and was just
Fired a
put
blank
it to
into
his
his own
head,
brain.
and
Yeah.
God.
at that close range, it will kill you.
Yep.
Tombstone has a lot of issues with that too, with the reenactments. If y'all haven't been to Tombstone, a ghost hunt, I highly recommend it. I have a friend of mine that does stunts out there. I met, and they've actually had some actors get killed, out there from shooting blanks at each other for reenactments. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's extremely dangerous to mess with blanks.
I don't know why they don't still use cap guns. Remember those cap guns?
Well, cap guns
Am
are
I
awesome.
the only one?
I'm a
I'm the
theater
only one who
nerd.
remembers cap gun.
I took a class on stage combat, and we practiced using guns with blanks in them, real guns with blanks in them. And then one of the first things they teach you is you never point the gun at somebody. You always point to the right of them.
over their shoulder.
Never
yeah.
shoot, even if it's a blank. You don't shoot at anybody. It's
Oh.
always over their shoulder to one side or the other. So it's just sad that things happen.
Gotta learn about well, heck, Jake knows, being in I'm a veteran as well, military veteran. You gotta learn about gun safety. I mean, you have to really teach actors that when you're messing with blanks too.
Absolutely.
Gun safety is so vital.
Well, that's the thing. A problem we have in America is we don't have respect for guns. Most people
Fact.
use them
Yep.
as toys.
Yep.
So
They're an accessory.
Yeah.
It needs to be taught at an early age. Gun safety needs to be just constantly taught, and
Absolutely.
But we don't want to
But
turn
don't-
this into a political show.
Yes.
That's right. And we have, so should we go with the user submitted video, or should we do Wendy, your photo real quick?
User.
She's wagging her finger. No.
I don't.
No.
She's like, they're not ready for my demon.
Oh yeah. It's the warm up round right now. User submitted, I guess, then is the vote.
Okay. So this is the one. Just wait, I gotta cue this one up. Talk amongst yourselves. This is new tech I need to deal with here. Talk amongst. Let me just go on mute. Give me a minute here. Talk. Your subject Zozo. Go.
Zozo.
It's actually Pazuzu. His proper name.
Say it like Richard Burton. Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. Oh my god.
Well, that was quick. It's up and ready to go. Okay.
Okay, good. Thank God.
We don't
Because
start
that was
talking about
going
Richard
somewhere
Burton.
that's-
So this is submitted. Can I say her name and everything? User submitted. Can I say? Yeah.
Brenda?
Okay. I guess I don't need Brenda. This is submitted by Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Thank you for tuning in. This was caught on a exterior webcam, a Nest system, and just please watch the background. Is all I'm gonna say. I've
Okay.
already directed you. The power of suggestion.
You're not going to highlight it and circle it for us? Come on.
Dude,
It's gotta be
Where's
red.
your little
do that crap
arrow?
in real
And
time.
And you do the
Not
slow-mo.
process. Let me. Ready to critique? Let's go.
Nope.
I pulled it back again.
Is this the user submitted, the user that submitted this, is this their video or is this
Yeah,
one they
this is
found?
the user's video.
No, it's one that somebody pointed out to
got
her.
it. I thought.
All right. I'll go. It's glare from the headlights from the car in the background because it travels at the exact same speed.
Yeah.
And it fades out as soon as the car starts to turn.
And the reason it looks like a person walking is because if you go way back closer to the beginning, it does look like someone's there's a smaller, darker figure on the other side of the street that looks like a person walking, like an animal or a person. It's hard to make out. Yeah. And so that's what's probably making that glare form look like it's walking, because they're all stepping together as well. It's making the same motion
And if
together.
towards the end, they like start coming apart, like what looks like legs kind of separates from the bodies.
And there's that car in the background. Yeah.
I don't know.
So there might be a person
Maybe it's my
behind
glare
that
on my
glare.
screen.
I just noticed the illegally parked motorbike.
Let's start over. Let's do it.
Little sidewalk
All
parking.
right, let's do this one again.
Yeah, because I
let's talk. Let's chat through it.
So I'm gonna get.
So you see the walking along the far side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Now,
right
if you look farther in the distance, there'll be a car that comes down the road.
Right.
No,
like that
over
one
there.
over
Yep.
there, and one over there.
Yeah,
okay,
in the background,
yeah.
there's a car that comes. So if you see the person walking and then the car.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it seems like there could be a low frame rate or something, and that's really just a group of people
That's
walking.
what I'm trying to think now too. Because now that I look at it better,
Oh, that car stops. Yeah, you're right. That car stops and they keep walking. Yeah.
See,
because
I mean, I think I had a lot of glare on my screen, so I couldn't see exactly where it was going. But now that I see it a little bit better, it does look like a bunch of people walking.
Yeah, I mean, you can see people start walking here.
Yeah.
And we've got 1, 2, that could be 2 people mashed together
2
there.
or 3 maybe.
Maybe 3 or 4.
Jake,
and they're walking.
Can you go full screen on it down there in the?
Yeah,
there
that'd
we
be
go.
better. So we can see it better.
So you can see
there we
here. Let me go back here. We'll just start
those
over.
are people walking.
I feel like that's real people.
I think it's real people walking in
I
because
agree.
of
And
the
just because
resolution,
they're
the frame
moving,
rates.
the resolution is not that great for them when they're moving.
But I mean, the movement, if it was
I mean, they've got shadows.
yeah, you can see it looks
There's
like
shadows.
like fog behind them and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
but
just
this looks
people
like
walking.
real people.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it's the frame rate.
The thing is,
Yeah,
too,
and see, there's where the legs come off.
Yeah.
So
I think
the
it's just-
problem
yeah.
is a lot of people don't seem to understand that a lot of these security cameras also have a problem with the since they're focused on one thing for such a long time.
Right.
The main image can get burned into the camera itself, and so a lot of times when you get new things happening in the camera, it can look a little bit transparent. Especially with a lot of
That
the
and
triple ones.
the night vision too on those can
Right,
be
that's what I was
weird.
getting
And
ready to
especially
say,
with the
yeah.
reflection off the bike, those reflectors can create
Yeah.
that kind of overexposure. It may be trying to compensate in the background.
Right.
And the Nest Cam, like I've got a Ring, they aren't meant to record stuff that far off. It's to tell you who's at your door.
Yeah, so depending on the
that's
range
not-
of the night vision, that's also going to make a
Yeah.
difference.
No, we'll
Somebody's got to ticket that guy for leaving the motorcycle in the middle of the damn sidewalk.
Because you can even see when the car comes up behind it, the car lights up behind them.
The
Yeah, those
people,
people.
and cause
So-
a shadow.
Right. So that
And
actually
the
right
shadows
there.
stay with them as they walk down. They have shadows the whole time. I just feel like it's got to be real people.
Yeah, so I just think that the IR light is not hitting strong enough, so they look a little transparent as they're moving quickly with the slow.
However, if we saw some crap like that at Gettysburg and stuff on that field, we'd be like,
Oh,
hell
that would be
yeah,
different.
that's a ghost.
Right?
It's got to be ghosts.
Gotta be a ghost, damn it.
Oh, can't you see that uniform right there?
I saw his hat. I could see a hat.
That was a pregnant Union soldier. Did you see that? He was pregnant.
It's a well-fed one.
So yeah, so I will agree that the IR light is not strong enough to give the full solid image. So they kind of look a little transparent because it's not hitting them strong enough. But yeah, that's people, especially when you look at the back of the light reflecting off of them from the car coming up the road.
Shadow, yeah.
I think part of the question in Brenda's head also was that there many years ago there was a children's or girls reformatory there, and might have also been a hospital after that or a mental health institution, and it's gone now. It's all gone now. So that was just that was what made her wonder and want us to look at it.
No.
Okay. Thank you for sending that to us, Brenda.
Thank you,
but
Brenda.
now,
I would be interested to know if there's, I'm
Go,
curious
Becky.
if there's a history of other things happening
Yeah.
as well. I
Yeah,
mean, if that
that
video is
could
the
be
only
it.
thing, then I've got to feel like that's real people. But then if there's a history of other things happening, I would be intrigued.
Exactly.
Maybe
You got to have
look
more
into a
than
little
just
more.
one video to validate anything paranormal.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to Wendy and her submitted photo. This one's pretty famous.
Bless you.
So let's take a look.
COVID, sorry.
At the Amityville Horror Kid.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, no.
Did you watch the special on this when the people were in the house and taking the pictures?
No.
The guy that took the picture?
It's been a while. I've seen it, but it's been a while. I don't really remember much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one thing he
There's
had
just so much
said-
about that I just like.
Yeah. Well, one thing, of course, when they were in there and they basically said there were no kids in there at the time. And, that's what they said. And, I just don't know. It's one of those things where.
The problem is there's so many stories about the Amityville that don't match up.
Mm-hmm.
That it's that true fact that once you get caught making one story up, it's hard to believe the rest that you say.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when it comes to this case, I remember this photo clear back in the day. I wasn't there, so I can't validate that there weren't kids there.
There weren't any children.
Right.
Well, and you got to remember too, this is back when we used film, and there would be pictures I would take, and then I would get them developed, and I'd look at them and go, wow, I don't remember that person being there, but obviously they're right there. Just because I didn't remember them doesn't make them not there.
You can see shadow on him from the banister.
Right. Right. The lighting on him matches the rest of the, like the shadow and the light matches. And then when you do take those photos, the eyes can become overexposed.
Yeah. From the flash, right?
Yeah. The flash. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's definitely a flash because it's obviously producing shadow.
Right. It lit everything up. You can see that.
And
it looks
so
like
definitely,
it might even have been infrared film.
And
It's
definitely
got
the
that
fact,
grainy look to it.
right?
Yeah.
And definitely the fact that that it obviously has to be a solid because it wouldn't have the shadow on it itself from the banister.
Right.
So it's one of those things that yes, there is a kid there. I will agree to that. Is it a ghost? I would probably say no. Just from my own personal research of the Amityville case, I have a hard time believing everything that comes from that case.
Well, and honestly, those two kids don't even look alike.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Not
He looks
the
nothing
same
like
kid.
John DeFeo.
Yeah, they don't look alike at all.
They have a different
the
nose.
nose is different.
Totally
Like,
different. Their mouth, their
Their eyes
teeth
are
is
different,
all
nose is different, mouth is different.
Right.
But what if it's like some kind of changeling demon created by the negative energy of the child suffering and
that
death?
would be awesome, and then I would go to that.
Okay.
Really what it looks
And
like.
if you look at the picture too
makes
long,
more
you'll get
sense.
possessed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those little
Into my
glowing
eyes.
eyes.
Don't make eye contact with the photo. Do not make eye contact with the photo.
Yeah.
Too late. Beetlejuice.
That's the biggest problem that we have in this field is it's hard for us to validate true paranormal phenomena because we're not there.
We're not present. We weren't there. We don't know what
we
really was
weren't
going
there
on.
when it was captured. So we don't know the conditions of what's going on. So it's hard for me to say, yes, that's definitely a ghost in any kind of evidence that somebody would submit. But I can definitely I do enjoy picking it apart and educating ourselves and everybody else by doing this, just what to look for when we're doing these types
But one thing too, I can be a little devil's advocate here. A lot of cultures believe that a lot of ghosts are solid and not see-through.
Right.
So
Well,
I mean,
that's one of the theories too, that some ghosts can appear solid. There's been a lot of stories out there where people were talking to somebody they thought were another living person, and all of a sudden they just disappeared right in front of their eyes.
Right in front of their eyes.
For sure.
So I'm not saying that it's not possible, but yet we don't have enough information or enough proof to validate that.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
Most of this is all personal
we were there.
experiences and their own stories.
And that's the hard part is if you can't recreate it, over and over again, and with different conditions, that's where it gets difficult to really be able to prove it.
So let's go to Becky Ray's classic.
Just to go back to one thing too. You know,
sure.
The thing that doesn't help to validate that photo is the fact that, if I was going to say that that was a ghost, I would submit every picture from that kid.
Right. The whole roll.
So I could show that there was no other kid on
no
the
other
property,
children. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because that's one of the things
not like
you
the
gotta
neighbor's
do.
kid, or because there were a lot of people there that night. I mean,
There was like a whole seance going on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the night of the seance because the guy was taking the pictures.
For all we know, somebody brought their kid and said, "Hey, go hang out in the room while we do a seance."
Go sit in the corner and be quiet.
Right.
Yeah, it was dark, and the kid probably was someplace he wasn't supposed to be, which is why
Trying to find the bathroom. All the kid wanted to do was pee. What the hell?
Leave him alone.
Well, and things like that too. It's the power of suggestion again. So they put him side by side, right? If they just left the photo alone and not put those photos side by side, nobody would have thought that was the DeFeo kid. You know, until they put him side by side to imply or suggest that it is.
Yeah.
And that's when people were like, "Oh, it's the DeFeo."
I'm really surprised though that somebody hasn't come forward and saying, "Oh, that was me.
That was me when I was They're probably dead. I'm sure.
Yeah,
How
maybe
long ago
just
was
ignored
that?
him.
Maybe it was a different child of the well. The porter to
Could
hell.
be.
Yeah,
Could have been the older one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's be real. No one cares about the reality check on the ghost photos.
right.
True.
They want
Especially with the
sensation.
Amityville house.
They want to
you know,
believe.
the real horror of the
Hey,
Amityville house.
I
is
got
the
to go
murder.
through the Amityville house. That was cool. Oh, I know that.
So next up is Becky Ray's classic Toys R Us photo.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I first saw this photo probably when a lot of us first saw it. In 1978 on a television show called
Yep.
That's Incredible. And they were
remember
talking
that.
about this Toys R Us in Sunnyvale, California.
Been there.
And then somewhat unknown Sylvia Brown, who you can see in the lower right-hand part of the photo, was leading a seance at this Toys R Us. And there was a photographer there using infrared film. And this is one of the photos. And the story is that the gentleman in the back leaning up against whatever he's leaning against
With the bell bottoms
not a
and
real
platform
person.
shoes.
Right on. He is coming to the disco. He allegedly was not a real person. There was nobody standing there, supposedly, when this picture was taken. And Sylvia, being Sylvia Brown, went on and gave the guy a name and a backstory and all this other stuff. When
Wasn't it like
I don't know, what do
Billy-
you guys think? Does that?
I know this case very well because I've been to that Toys R
Yeah.
Us.
Yes.
I remember
Oh,
because
yeah,
this
there's some
case-
great stories about it.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I can say that is actually my friend Todd, who I was in my old group and who sadly passed away. He back in, was it 79, he was the manager of this Toys R Us, and he is actually in the background. He said he was like standing over like in the back watching this happen. And when she was doing all this, and he says he does not remember seeing anybody there, but he says he really wasn't paying attention. And
well, we know
He's
that
not
could be
that person.
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
never
what I was
know.
just thinking.
Say that
If he
could
was
be him,
standing
sure.
back there,
Yeah.
because that was one of
But-
Sylvia's things, was nobody was standing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
he doesn't.
so if he was
remember,
standing,
yeah. But he
Was he
did say
rocking
there were a
bell bottoms?
lot of strange things happened at this Toys R Us. Like things
Oh,
would
yeah,
fall off the
yeah.
shelves.
I mean,
He
there was a
would-
reason
yeah.
they were there doing the seance.
Exactly.
You know,
Right,
but
so
but Sylvia
something
makes things
interesting.
up or made things up. And
No.
she,
Yeah.
she gave the guy a name. What was the
Sorry,
name she
Sonia.
gave him?
She's
Wasn't
the
it like
clairvoyant of the
Billy-
20th
My
century.
hero.
What are you talking about? I saw her on Sally Jesse Raphael
Hello?
multiple times. It's
Yeah.
got to
She was
be
on
real.
Montel. She said
And
the
Right,
guy's name was
Montel.
Johnson,
Maury.
Maury.
His
No,
name was
Montel
Johnson.
too. He
Maury.
was big on Montel.
and he was a preacher. This guy Johnson was a preacher. He was a ranch hand in the 1800s on a farm.
With the bell
And the
bottoms.
toy store was built on top of the farm. Yeah, with the bell bottoms.
With the bell bottoms.
He said he had a mild Swedish accent, so
Here,
and his name is Jan Janssen.
Jan,
And-
I am ghost at Toys R Us.
He was eating
And,
lutefisk and
He had been madly in love with a woman named Elizabeth who ran off with an
Wow.
East Coast
She has a
lawyer.
great imagination.
amazing.
So
You know, again, this is just like the other photo that we looked at. It's just
Right,
without
yeah.
other photos to back
Yeah.
up their claim. You know, we
Right.
have there's easily somebody could have been standing there. They weren't paying attention.
Oh yeah.
But come on, he's also casting a shadow.
Literally.
Look at
I was
this.
just gonna say
yeah.
he's casting a shadow, so it is a
And
solid
even if you look at the
form.
person on the right-hand side of the photo in the back, looks like they're looking right at him.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
You know, so
But you can't tell me that those are not bell bottoms with platform shoes.
Right.
Right on. You know, it's 1978.
I mean, come
And the
on, that
jacket-
looks
like
like it.
1978.
The cut of the jacket.
It could be a John Travolta cutout.
Yeah.
Another cardboard cutout.
It looks like feathered hair too. I mean,
Vinnie
you know,
I'm gonna start dropping cardboard cutouts everywhere.
That does not look like an 1880s farmland.
No.
But and with
Uh,
shadows.
Grease came out that year, right? It could be
Yeah,
something.
that is the year Grease came out.
This is Toys R Us.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is that Toys R Us is, you know, obviously closed because all Toys R Us do. It was a spirit Halloween store for a while.
Oh,
It amused me.
How appropriate.
Vinegar.
Our Toys R Us are still open.
At a Toys R Us store, you know.
But
And he's
you know,
definitely
it's-
leaning. I mean, that knee,
Yeah.
the knee
Yeah.
closest to the wall
Yeah.
is cocked,
Yeah,
and he's
somebody's sitting
leaning
there-
against
standing
the
there watching.
wall. And if you look at the light behind him and the way it's reflecting around him, it's definitely someone leaning against the wall.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
can just tell from the photo there were a lot of people there. How do they know
How would they
nobody was
know?
standing there?
Especially if it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just it's a simple situation where they, you know, obviously don't have a controlled environment. No
Right.
one's, you know, paying attention as to what's going on. You know, somebody
Yep.
taking random photos, and then, like, you know, people forget, you know, with film, you don't know what you got until you finally get the film
Until you get it
developed.
developed. Right.
Right.
And so that within that time, it's so easy to forget things.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
No,
shoot, maybe it's
absolutely.
another situation. The guy just had to pee, just like the kid.
Right?
Maybe he got up.
He was
Maybe he was
looking for the
seated for a
bathroom.
while, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Screw it, I gotta pee. This lady doesn't stop talking." And he
It's
goes
in my
to
way.
the
Come on.
bathroom, and he just happens to be on his way back, and he didn't want to bother anybody, so he just leaned.
So, guys, let me interject because this next video was submitted by Canada Mike.
Woo.
And it looks like it's from his team. So let me get to.
Oh, we're gonna tear this one
I was
apart.
gonna say, so we're not allowed to talk
Yeah, I
shit
can't
now. Is
wait
that
to
what's
rip
happening?
this one apart.
Be
So,
nice.
so let's. No, you don't have to be nice. He's been around the block. This ain't his first rodeo. But Canada Mike, can you give us some spiel about this video before I play? It's only 10 seconds
We
long.
were using a body cam, and we were using it for B-roll and secondary video when we were filming at a place called the Vernon Theater, as you see on there. And we caught a really creepy EVP. I just want your guys' opinion on it. I was literally about to junk all of this footage. And yes, my ID number is 666 on mine.
Nice.
All right. Oh, I love it. So we will judge critically. And here we go.
I don't think there's any audio.
Oh, that was my stomach from Del Taco. I mean, I hear it pretty clearly, folks.
Yeah, I heard
Did you hear
something.
it pretty clearly? Yeah. So to me, do you want me to spoil it to say what I think it says?
Sure.
To me, it sounds like I don't know.
I can get I know or something out of that.
Yeah, like I know.
No.
The thing about this theater, like what I thought I heard was now closed. So you see that door right there? That's a fireproof door because they used to do a lot of the old-fashioned movies with like the flammable footage.
Oh.
Their projector room is totally in. You know the movie Inglourious Bastards? It's exactly like.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But back in the day, you needed to have equivalent to like a certificate or a red seal to be a projectionist. And they, back in those days, did not like women doing jobs like that because it's a very manly job, allegedly. And
Women will mess it up. We mess everything up.
Of course.
We're too emotional.
They're too busy doing their nail and hair.
Yes.
Right.
We don't have time for your silliness. Job crap.
now the body cam is on a female, and she was up there all alone, all checking things out. She has like a Zoom recorder in her hand as well, and she called me up there because she felt very uncomfortable, like she was semi being chased out of there. And I'm like, all right, well, let's roll some, as you can see in my hand, doing B-roll and stuff. And
okay, so my question is, obviously there's another camera going. Did you capture it on the other camera as well?
Yeah.
No, because I'm still going through that footage.
Okay.
I'm literally working on my
So
warning.
this is exclusive to Mystic Moon Cafe.
So, you know, the one thing that we really encourage in our team is now every member has a camera on them, especially when it comes to EVPs or any type of phenomena that we may encounter. It's nice to have various points to go back and reference to see if you can help support or debunk. So the more cameras, which should be
And
an
it's
easy
really helped a lot
task
so
to
far.
do,
Yeah.
you know, the more cameras, the better.
Yeah.
So obviously it's great. You have 2 cameras going on there. So hopefully your other camera can validate that sound. I'll admit it's an odd sound.
Yeah.
Just by
It would be
listening, I
awesome if
can't
it
tell you
didn't
what it
pick it up.
is,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
Even
too
more
easy for the
crowd.
human. It's too easy for the human ear to put words to it, but
Exactly,
it may not be.
you know.
Yeah,
it
until
may
you
not
guys
be
started
formed
saying
words.
Yeah.
It
I
could
thought it sounded
just
like a
be
dog
something
bark.
sliding. Yeah, either dog barking or something sliding across the floor, or you know, and
Well,
it could
true,
be
yeah.
toilet flushing. Who knows? I mean, until
You know,
I
we
mean,
had a
sometimes it's-
situation, you know, by having the multiple cameras, we thought we captured a possible EVP on a camera. And then as going back, looking at the other cameras, we found out it was someone's, you know, watch hitting, you know, some clothes.
Yeah.
And it
And
just
it sounded
made
like
that odd swoosh noise. And so it's like it helped by going back and looking at the other videos that were taken at the exact same time to see if there's anybody making a noise that they're unaware of. You know,
Or checking that it's actually someone's lips moving or somebody actually saying it under their breath.
Totally.
Or
That's
you
why
know,
video is so
something,
much
you know,
better.
and another thing people tend to not realize is when we go to a lot of places, you know, that we've never been to before. And so we're not familiar with a lot of the natural noises that these places
Right.
make. You know, when, you know, the heater kicks in, it'll make an odd noise, or when the toilet gets flushed, you know, it'll make an odd noise on the 3rd floor. You know, things like that we're not aware of because we're not there all the time. So we'll jump and we'll, you know, immediately point out these odd noises and say, oh, it could very well be a ghost when it is just a normal sound in the building. So, you know, my curiosity is if the other camera captured the same thing, because there are claims that some EVPs can be captured on one device and not others. So if you got one camera capturing something and it's not on the other one, that makes it even more interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Which we've had.
Those are the ones
we've
I
had
get excited
before.
about.
Yeah.
Mhm. But
If it's
then
on
you
every
also,
recorder, then I kind of just think that's got to have been one of us making a noise or
Something happened.
something. If every recorder there picked it up.
Yes.
You know.
but then there's also situations too where someone's hand got too close to the mic, made a noise, and that's why it might be picked up
See, that-
louder on something. So
That's why I like video better than just the audio recorders, because you can always say, "Did you say something? Did you say something?" And somebody will
And
say,
we've
"No," and I say, "That
debunked-
sounds like you."
right,
Yeah.
and we've
Yeah.
debunked EVPs because of that too, because we go back and watch videos and we see somebody's mouth moving at that time.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know,
But-
unfortunately we all make mistakes, say something under our
yeah.
breath and that we don't intentionally do it, you know.
But there has been times that we have caught a disembodied voice. Everybody has caught it, and you go back and look, and nobody's mouth is moving.
See, that's
and
exciting.
Everything, and or you
Again, that's why
hear,
you
like,
need the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we've that's happened too. So
June, did you send Jake that one video that you guys have of the voice? One of your investigators caught a voice. It was talking to an entity and caught a voice on the recording after.
Oh, the screaming thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that
screaming
one.
one.
Luke's top 5.
Oh yes.
Please chat it to me so we can.
Yeah, send it to him because that would be cool. That
Yeah,
one's
that's
definitely one where there's no clue in the video at all until you hear the recording from the recorded device. It's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Get a nuke's top
Let me
5.
see. I can do that.
Oh, my
And it's
Luke's
nice
top
because
5
you
one?
actually have the video showing everyone in the room,
Mhm.
and it's
Right.
apparent that no one
That's
is making
cool.
that sound.
Oh, just wait, Ross, you got your shadow in the restaurant video somewhere? Would
That
be a good one to
is
show.
also on our website. You can pull it up on our website under evidence.
Let's see. Where is
Okay,
the?
one sec. Let me go find that.
Let me see what I can, because I think I have the
But
clip.
you know, but to get back, you know, for Mike here, I love the fact that you got multiple cameras, and teams should be doing that. We should have more cameras going. It's, inexpensive now. Everybody's got, at least their cell phones going on. I told my team, if your other camera, if you're in the middle of investigation and your camera goes out, pull out your freaking cell phone. I don't care. That's fine. As long as you're capturing the phenomena. I don't like people using their cell phones for an investigation, but I will accept it as an emergency. But you should have multiple cameras going on. You should have, steady cams going on, filming the rooms as well, and then plus your personal cameras on yourselves. Because again, to help validate your experience, the more you can present, the more credible it becomes when we can look at all the different angles and say, wow, well, obviously we can't figure out what made that noise. That noise is in only one video. So, is it possible EVP? Yeah, it very well could be. Yeah. I can't tell you what that noise is, So, and it definitely sounds odd. So yeah, it very well could be something there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that it was so loud and that there didn't seem to be any reaction, like nobody said.
Yeah. So
who's that?
What's that? Yeah.
And that's another good point too, because most of us are trained that when we hear something, we tag it right away.
Absolutely.
My team, whenever we hear any noises, we tag it. Say, oh, we just heard that, so.
And there's only 2 of us up there. It was me, which you can see my mouth is not moving.
Right.
Right.
Sandra,
so the fact that, and she doesn't say anything either. Like, what was that? So
there's no response to it, and it's just so loud.
You never want to do is whisper. You never want
there
to.
There it is.
Right. Yeah. That's one thing, because it's a habit sometimes when you're in the dark. It's just your instinct to whisper. So we always push really hard. If you do it, we will forgive you. Claim it right away. Say, I'm sorry, that was me.
Right.
Exactly.
We usually try to roll with different video formats and audio formats too, to try and grab every video audio spectrum available. Like we'll do 2 cameras, like 2 or 3 audio recorders just to see what we can.
Right.
Because I know my body cam records at MP4, and I think all of the Sony ones are like VLC or whatever it is. Like it's a big file.
Well, and that's the thing is we don't know enough about the paranormal to validate one piece of equipment to say, yes, this captures true EVPs, this one doesn't. We do know that a lot of these devices use different filtering systems. So one recorder may be good for EVPs, the other one may filter it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so old. I go back to when we thought you couldn't get an EVP on a digital recorder. You could only get EVPs using magnetic tape. And then we started getting them on the digital recorders and like, we've got to rethink this because we thought they were imprinting it right on the tape, but without tape, we're still getting the voices. So we've got to rethink what we think it is.
Exactly.
I found it and I can play it if you want. I can share it. Awesome. I can share it on my. It was too big to send it to you, Jake.
Okay.
So if let's see, if I have the permissions there.
Use the tech.
You should.
Do you have permission?
She should have permission.
Hold on a second.
Theoretically.
June, you're not cool enough. That's what it is.
That's what it comes down
Denied.
to.
Just put it on the prohibited list.
Make sure you're playing the audio too, June.
Yes, I will go check that. Hold on a second.
Here we go.
Share sound. Yes. Okay. Here we go.
Hi, it's me again. Obviously. No one can understand why you have to scream, and neither can I. Why do you follow me everywhere? I know you need my help, but I can't understand you. Please, can you just try to not scream?
Orbs.
And after this is over,
try to tell me your name.
Ross can explain everything.
Or what you'd like for us to call you. I have friends with me. They understand things in the spirit world. We all want to try to help. I know you came with me from Rolling Hills and I told you you would never have to go back there. But now I'm thinking you need to go someplace else. I'm going to turn off my recorder. Hopefully I can hear you. I know it's frustrating for you, and it is for me too. I'm going to turn it off now. Okay, let's see what we've got.
So there we have it.
Oh,
Now, Ross, why
I
didn't
know
you
that
tell the
backstory.
story?
So this one, we're actually doing an experiment. The investigator there had a situation where we had done an investigation, and since that investigation was at Rolling Hills Asylum, every time she'd do an EVP session, she'd play back a recorder and she'd get this screaming. And so she had played a few examples for me, and I was like, okay, this is definitely interesting. So I decided to do an experiment. I had her sit there, with the recorder open palm, and we were filming her hand the whole time too, just to prove that, she's not manipulating the recorder as well.
And this was in the Seattle Underground, just to
we're
let
in
you
the
know.
Seattle Underground.
Yeah.
So she's holding the recorder open palm the whole time. The video you're watching is my personal video. That's me. All right. So I'm filming everything around just to see what's going on. We have another camera on her, from far back, so we can see everything that's going on here. And sure enough, she stops it, she plays it back, and this is a prime example where it was only on her recorder and not on the video or any of the other videos. There was another recorder going on as well. So that was probably the most interesting thing.
So devil's advocate, does her recorder, did she try a different recorder? Did she make sure there wasn't anything recorded already that she was recording over? I'm not sure what device she had, but
we did have two of the exact same recorders. So we had a recorder that was exactly the same model as hers recording at the same time. So we did that experiment as well. Nothing. So this is the only recorder that she's had.
Looks like the Panasonic one.
Yeah.
It's flat and kind of square.
So that's the one that's most famous for capturing EVPs. They sell them now on eBay for like $1,000.
$3,000.
Yeah, $3,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have one of those in a toolbox in my garage.
You better get that out.
Right over.
Yeah,
right over.
Yeah, I remember when those were on the market. They were like $20.
Yeah,
they were dirt cheap.
So it's one of those things that there's been a few times when she'd gotten the recording. She did not give me all of her recordings, which I was kind of mad about because I wanted to do more research on it because I don't have that recorder, and I don't have the money to just dish out to buy one to test it out, to see, to validate, is it a mechanism thing? Is it true paranormal phenomena?
Is there a way to over record where you get that kind of bleed through?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So but there were a few interesting times where it seemed to respond to her as well, that I have heard when I was there. We did multiple experiments. I was just lucky enough to have this one because I filmed this one. The other ones we done at her house, and she obviously has the material and never gave it to me to continue my research. But it was definitely an interesting experiment.
So is this still happening to her, or did it stop?
No, it eventually stopped. I told her because she was so freaked out about it. It was just to talk, through it, talk out loud, because one of the things I always get really frustrated with is, people always tend to think, oh, if it's a dark shadow, it's got to be demon. If it's screaming, it's got to be demon. But who's to say that it's just something trying to communicate to her, and all it can do is scream.
That's all it can do. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't know how to communicate, but it's screaming just to let you know I'm here.
Or maybe it's just really pissed off.
I could see, Well, and I could see, if she's talking and she's not hearing me, she's clearly not hearing me.
Yeah.
I would probably scream in her face.
Yeah.
Then it's on the recorder, you know.
Well,
I can see
didn't you
that.
say too that when she thought that the spirit came with her from Rolling Hills because she
Yeah.
had said, "Come with me."
Right.
You know, at Rolling Hills, she had said to the spirit, "Come with me." So, you know, I'm going to take you out of
which
here.
is always a mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if it is, yeah.
I've never had anything follow me, but I've never invited anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do
Why?
that. Don't ask for trouble.
Yeah. You don't know what you're dealing with. Why would you invite it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, picking up a hitchhiker on the side of the road. Come on home, I'll feed you dinner. It's cool.
Exactly. In a clown suit.
Jump in.
A clown suit, yeah.
Clown suit.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not wearing any underwear.
The odds of there being one of us being a serial killer, you know how the old joke goes. Yeah.
It'd be impossible to have two serial killers
Right,
in the
it would
car.
be
In the same
impossible.
car.
Right,
How
yeah.
weird would that be?
I do have the famous Homestead Restaurant video ready to play. Ross captured this one. I think it was also featured on Nuke's Top 5.
No.
Nope.
It was not? Oh,
Nope.
okay. I thought
Nuke
this one
actually
was,
wants
too.
the original video, and Ross has it packed away in the storage.
I got to
Got
go
it.
back. It's on video. Said if
Okay.
anyone remembers cassettes back in the day.
What?
Yeah. He was interested in it, but no.
Okay. Well, here it is. We will now play and critically judge. I love the iMovie usage. Volume on? Yep. Okay.
That makes it even more creepier.
Right?
Yeah, with the
Mhm.
slow motion.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Slow mo.
I'm getting seasick.
Okay, so what is it?
It's a slee stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
This was an awesome place, believe me.
Uh-huh.
Let's
Oh,
let's go back and play this one.
very
a little
cool.
more. Here we go.
You see a duck behind the door?
Mm-hmm.
Ducks knows
Yeah.
over, right?
I think if I were the person that filmed that, I would have wet my pants when I saw that at home.
I don't think you caught it. You didn't catch it at the time, did you?
No, I didn't know it was happening. Me
Yeah,
and Jim-
that's when we were reviewing at home and you see that. Yeah.
yeah. So the story is me and June were upstairs setting up.
Mhm.
She's standing to my left. You can actually hear her in the beginning. And I'm just setting up the camera. I probably wasn't even looking in the lens. I was probably just making sure, everything was ready, getting in my hand, And little did I know until I played it back, there was this figure. You can see head, shoulders. It almost looks like it's standing sideways and then quickly darts behind the door.
Ross and I were the only ones on this floor at this time, and I can personally vouch for that. Yeah,
that's very cool. That is.
Can we watch it at regular speed again?
Oh yeah, sure. The truth will be found at A.G.H.O.S.T.org.
Right.
So cool.
And you see it just ducks behind the door.
Yeah. And it's almost like slithery. Like it
Mhm.
slithers back.
Slee stack.
Well,
Yes.
what's so cool about this place, I mean, one of the times when Ross and I and a few other people were downstairs, there was nobody upstairs. We're doing an EVP session, and then Ross kind of says, well, if there's somebody here, can you give us a sign or something like that? And then all of a sudden, we all hear heavy footsteps walking across the floor upstairs. And not only was that the weird part,
And it
but
wasn't
the part,
just like a couple steps. I mean,
no, it lasted a full minute.
Yeah.
And what's
That's
really cool
awesome.
about this, though, is the place that these footsteps were walking over was almost burnt through. Nobody human could walk over that spot because
And
the
not fall
floor
through.
had been in a fire. The place had been in a fire, if you hadn't guessed, with all the, the burnt
Well, what was
carnage.
interesting about that video with that little figure that darted in and out is I would have originally thought, well, that's just you know, as you said, you're setting up the camera, that could have possibly been Ross in his shadow as he's setting up lights and cameras. You'd be like, yeah, sure, it's just, you know, a figure, but there's no reflection on that door. There's no shadow on the door.
It's not
behind the
in front
door.
of the door.
And you watch it actually move out. So it's not even like it's something on the other side of the door casting a shadow from your light, because it moves and there's no way.
Well, the other thing too,
it
is,
didn't follow your motion.
The IR light would have lit up if there was some fabric, you know, like somebody wore a hoodie or something like that.
Right.
It wouldn't have been just a black
details.
It wouldn't just been this weird mass, and it didn't follow the motion of your camera either, which normally if it's somebody that's stepping in the way or moving, it follows that same motion, and it didn't. It moved very differently than your camera did. So that was what was fascinating.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, that's a really cool capture.
Yeah.
Bravo.
You
That's
know,
what we all hope for.
the sad thing is like for us to capture something like that is like rare.
Yeah, very rare.
You got these, you know, paranormal shows where they go in and they capture this
every
every
episode.
week. Every week.
Multiple occurrences.
And it's not just
Been doing
once,
this since
it's
the
like
80s.
3 times that night, you know.
Been since the 80s, and I've never caught anything like that.
Right.
I actually saw one of the ghost hunter episodes where they claim this ghost came out and ran towards them, and you can, if you slow it down, you actually see that somebody does literally have a sheet over themselves, and you can see their shoes underneath.
It was
at Mr. Gray.
Yes, how
Mr. Gray.
beautiful is that?
It
So
was at
obvious.
Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yes.
And that
It's
is
like,
the
dude,
one.
really?
I got so mad when I saw
Oh
that.
my
It looks
God.
like somebody with, like you
A
said, either a
sheet.
sheet or something,
Some
and you can see the
tennis
shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're tennis shoes. And I'm like, what? And they just kept going with it. Like, oh my God, it's a ghost. And like, they just kept playing it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, when you've got bad footage and you screwed up the shtick, just give it up, right?
Yeah.
Like, start over.
I
cut
was
that part
like
out,
so
edit it.
pissed off that they were showing
Yeah.
that. But you could tell
That might have been when I stopped watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell though when
Just
Jay
season
was
one.
was going over that his face got really red.
Yeah.
And you can tell with him because when he is not like really expanding on the truth, his face will get really red.
Yeah.
So if you go back to episodes and
Just
watch and
Couldn't
see
believe
his
it,
face
yeah.
get
Good
really
poker
red.
player.
Which means nothing else was happening in the episode, so they had to make a show.
They had to make it up.
They had to make a
They're
show.
like,
I think it was
hey,
that
you,
Brian.
you're that intern, right? Just put that shit over your head and run through the door. Would you?
Yeah, you want to be internet famous? Put this on,
Right.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, that made me so
Sorry
mad when I
sorry
saw
about
that.
those Nike swoosh airs.
Yeah.
They were white.
It's
They were
totally
white
turn of the
tennis shoes.
century. Yeah.
Well, it could have been black. In IR light, black will
yeah.
show up as
Ooh,
white.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
probably.
I always have
like,
made
it's
fun
dark.
of it.
That's probably why they had it down, because he was dressed in all black with a sheet
Yeah.
over him, and then
Yep.
didn't
They
realize in
figured it
IR
wouldn't.
light
Yeah.
some blacks will turn out white.
Yeah,
Mhm.
some blacks too. Oh,
And
I was
some blacks
mad.
are see-through too, just so you know.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Canada Mike is going to have to bid us adieu soon
Oh yes.
Aw.
because he's got like a real radio show he has to get.
The important
La-dee-da.
one.
Yes.
A
Real
little
job.
Facebook program.
We're so glad you could join us, Mike.
Until next
Yeah.
time.
Well, just wait. Who's the guest
Really
on
deep.
your show tonight?
Speaking
Is
of
it
ghost hunters, we have Brandon Alves.
Oh, we'll have to
Mhm.
tune in.
Yes.
Thought you were gonna
Drop a
say
link?
that it was
I
the
know,
Ghost Hunters crew. And I was gonna be like,
Uh-oh.
Right. I didn't
Uh-oh.
too. I was like,
Uh-oh.
whoops.
Exactly. Whoops.
It's Ghost Hunters Part 2
He was
on
part,
A&E.
he was part of the new crew.
Well,
Yeah, he was part of
as
the
we
good one.
conclude Mystic Moon Cafe's
This is our series
13-year
finale.
run, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, it was totally legit. I saw the whole thing. You're right. It was,
Yeah.
it was perfect.
Uh-huh.
The
There
most
was a
compelling
demonic
evidence
spirit
I've
that
ever seen.
Yes,
With
a demon from hell manifested
Demon
and
that,
kicked
like,
the shit out of that camera.
Didn't you not see the tail behind it? Come on.
totally. My bad. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that up front. Mhm.
Oh my.
All right, guys. Until next time.
All right,
thanks,
take
Mike.
care.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Talk to you soon.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, you're bringing that up though. Yeah, I was so angry when I saw that.
God. I saw
was
that and I
was
I
like,
caught it
people
as I
are
was watching the
believing this?
episode and I went, what?
What makes me so mad is that people believed it. I was like,
People
how
still
And I was
Defend-
waiting.
Yes.
I was waiting for them to like do the reveal and be like, "Well, we found this kid
Who is
thinking it was
this?
funny because we were filming."
We set
and
this
so he
up to
decided
see if you guys would fall for it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then he would like
exactly.
they
Well,
would
and that's
they
the
would
thing.
either admit it or
Mhm.
make up some story about some punk kid running through their shot. I
Yeah.
don't know. And
But
they
that's the
didn't.
thing people
They
don't
kept running with
understand
it.
is the ghost hunters themselves may be doing their job. You
Right.
know, when behind their backs,
Mhm.
producers and directors have been known to set something up.
Right.
You know, they'll
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
people go
Get a
out
real
there and make
reaction.
noises
Yeah.
and stuff to get their natural reactions when they hear a strange noise because, you know, they had somebody make a noise.
Yeah,
they'll
and they also
have
go into
somebody-
post. Like if
you know.
somebody says, "What was that?" but no sound was picked up, and they'll put in some crazy sound effect before that.
Right.
Right.
They do it
Scream or
after.
something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and that's not the
You
fault
know,
of the people in the show. but-
So for the fact of the matter is they may not have been in on it. You know, they may have been just doing their job and they had something, you know, the producers and
Right.
the director had something else
TV
happen.
show. Yeah.
You know,
but they
but the
still
fact of the
shoulda
matter is
used-
it
yeah.
still was
better judgment.
yeah.
Right.
It was so sketchy.
And
It was
there's
just
just
so obvious.
But you know,
Yeah.
also too, when you're under contract,
Yeah.
you
And
puppet on the
it's your
string.
living.
Gotta
You
do
quit
it.
your day
Yeah.
job
So,
to
you
make your
know,
money.
They may tell you we want you to say that's a ghost.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to.
Mhm.
Or maybe they did debunk it and they just cut that. So
That's
we're not
very
going to put
true
that
too.
in. You know, that happens too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
You know,
Some of these
I've
shows
been
on
cut
it-
from,
TV.
I've been cut from
Reality.
shows because I wouldn't give them what they wanted. You know,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part is, you know, even if you do give your true story that doesn't have a lot of flair and drama in it, they will edit it and overdub from
Right.
somebody else narrating to give it drama that you
Mhm.
didn't
Yep.
originally say. Like I never, you know, like you say, "Oh yeah, I came here once and it felt kind of creepy," and they'll stop the video and be like, "Because there was a demon," you know, and then they go back to you saying, "Yeah, I just had a weird vibe," and they'll stop and be like, "The demon of the dude," you know, like they just
I got
Yeah.
this
really
is my favorite story. I got
Right?
misquoted in the Wall Street Journal.
What?
On an article.
Wow.
Yes. It was the front page of a Saturday edition of the Wall Street Journal. It was an article about the apps and things, ghost hunting stuff. And they asked me about some of the EMF meters, and they asked me about the K2, and I said, you know, bleh. And my whole statement was, I don't like it. It's really sensitive and picks up anything going on in the room. What did they use in the Wall Street Journal? It's really sensitive.
Technically
Right.
Well, that's-
speaking,
Technically, I said that,
Mhm.
but
and they took a
left
little,
off the
they took some
important
liberties
parts.
with that one. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
So, you know, even in print, they can make it
Frequently
how they want it to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. It's where it all started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my all-time favorite TV show episode, I don't remember the name of the episode, but of course, if you can imagine, it was a Ghost Adventures episode.
Really?
Shocker. I don't remember where he was, but he's like, "I'm possessed. Look at me. My eyes are crazy. I'm breaking out goosebumps. I'm possessed. Look at how possessed I am." I'm like, "Uh-huh."
Mhm. I mean, that's been like
Every episode.
Every episode, yeah.
20
Every
seasons,
Every
so-
episode. I'm possessed.
No,
Come
that
at
only
me,
started
ghost.
when Zach found out he was an empath.
Mm.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And,
Right.
and then,
So he
and
was
then he starts
frequently
to rip
possessed.
off his shirt. Are there scratches?
Right.
Yes.
Are
Check
there
out my
scratches on my
Probably
pecs?
from that hair and the amount of gel you used was
Yeah, it
scratchy.
looks pretty pointy.
Yeah, that's true. That could-
dangerous. It's a
Sharp.
weapon on your head. Mhm. So
Mm.
yeah, that's always my favorite line because I purposely turn it on just to piss off my husband. I watch something normal. I'll be watching something normal and I'll hear him coming to the room, so I'll switch it really quick to Ghost Adventures and walk around the corner and be like, "What the fuck are you watching this for? Shit, God!" And he gets so mad. And I'm like, look, I'm possessed. And he's like, "Oh," he runs away like, "Oh." And then I go back to my chick flick because I know he left the room. He thinks I'm watching Ghost Adventures. I'm like, "Yes, got him.
No, the funny thing
TV's
is,
mine."
do you think that if you were really possessed, that you would say it out
You're
loud?
going to say,
Having
I'm
that
possessed.
conversation, right? Like you like, "Look at me, I'm possessed. Look,
yeah.
look at my eyes. Like, look,
I'm
Mm.
going to start
man.
using that as an excuse when I say something
Yeah.
stupid. I'm going to go,
I'm
look at me.
possessed."
I'm possessed.
Ozo,
Me.
Ozo.
Zozo.
So sorry, I was playing with
Zozo.
my Ouija board before I came out tonight.
Has anybody been watching 30 Coins?
It's on
Am
my
I-
to-do
should I be?
list.
Am I the
Should I
only
watch
one?
it?
I watched the first couple, and it was a little
too much.
It was a little too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of enjoyed it though.
Okay, I have no doubts. I have no doubts at all about that.
It's really different, that's for sure. But talking about possessions, that was really interesting.
I haven't seen it yet. I've been watching After Death. It's been kind
Have you watched that? I'm kind
decent.
of afraid to. I don't know if I can deal with it.
All my coworkers said to me, "Have you watched After Death yet?" I'm like, "No, they survived. I only care if they actually stay dead."
Right.
Boring parts of it that I just kind of
talking about heaven and love shit.
But then some of it I really liked. So it was very hit and miss for me. Because there was a couple episodes where I was just like, "Are we serious right now?"
Yeah. They're pushing my limits of yeah.
Well, they have another one too called Surviving Death that
maybe that's
was
the one I'm thinking.
really interesting. I've just watched the previews. I haven't watched it, but talked about a lot of people's different experiences when they felt like they died or when they clinically were supposedly dead.
I kind of nodded off during it several times. So
did you?
I
haven't watched
didn't actually make it through, or I don't even know if there were episodes or if it was one movie. Sorry.
So I'm gonna pitch.
Are you still watching? Pops up on the screen.
It may be.
I think I'll pitch Reanimating Death.
Oh,
yes. Get some Frankenstein, some simulacrum going on.
We're going to be talking about The Reanimator, the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Straight from there. I'm like, give me some body horror. Let's do this body horror.
I still have that vision in my head.
I haven't been able to watch anything because of this book. So
yeah,
gotta stay focused. Otherwise, David will kill me.
You know what? Now that I go back and think about all the most terrifying movies I've seen, I can tell you what the most terrifying movie I've ever seen.
What's that?
Yeah.
Watership
Down.
That's
the worst movie ever.
That is horrific.
Are we talking about the remake or the original?
The original. Yeah, the cartoon one.
I was a child and saw that in the movie theater, and my brain was scarred.
It's
about cute bunny families.
I know. Who would let you would think?
Who would take a kid to that movie?
It's a cute bunny movie. No.
No.
Look at the cute little bunnies. Yeah.
Watch see them die. See the machinery rip them apart.
Same parents that took their kids to see Nightmare Before Christmas. When we went to see Nightmare Before Christmas in the theater, I'll never forget, and it was the funniest thing ever. As soon as it starts, all of a sudden, with all the creatures hiding under the bed and everything else, as soon as it starts, about maybe 6 adults grabbed their kids and ran.
Believe it.
Why?
That's awesome.
It's a claymation cartoon. I'm so excited.
Isn't it PG-13?
Coraline.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
Coraline?
Coraline?
They didn't even market
I like
it.
Coraline.
Yeah, I did too, but I wouldn't want my kid to see it.
Yeah, well, neither one of those were marketed as a kid's
12-year-old.
So,
well, Annabelle's about a doll, so I don't understand. I take my kid to that.
Using that same logic.
And Chucky is just your
Chucky
best
is
friend.
just your best. Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Everybody's got one of those My Buddy dolls, right?
Yeah.
It's My Buddy.
My
Daddy.
buddy.
Yeah.
What
Remember
about
that?
Kid Sister? Come on, didn't you have a kid sister?
Yeah, kid sister.
Yes.
Yeah, my little Barbie Jeep and my kid sister.
Man.
Oh man.
And we survived.
Yes, we
lived
did,
through
but
it.
look at us today.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I think that might have something to do with what's going on right now.
I was
Might
gonna
have
say,
a little bit to do.
at least with Scooby-Doo, we knew at the end of it, it was going to be the insurance dude or real estate
Right.
Man
developer.
Withers.
There's never a
Old
ghost
Man
on
Withers,
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Never
no
a
ghost.
ghost.
Definitely never went into real estate for that reason.
Yes. Of course, the new Scooby-Doo, they're getting a little more supernatural and things, but
Yeah. Now they deal
Well,
with
that
real
was an
ghosts.
episode of Supernatural. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was so much fun. I watched that over and over and over again. I love that.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, we're playing a lot of Resident Evil Biohazard.
Ooh, I love Resident
Yes,
Evil.
good series.
Yes.
Oh, I got so motion sick though. Oh my gosh. I got so sick every time I'd start to play. I was
Oh,
just
because it's VR.
I
doing the
can't
VR?
play
It's
any of
VR.
those games where it's from point of view. they all make me super sick because of the motion sickness.
I even got motion sickness pills to take because I really wanted to play it.
Hot damn.
You know, I figured it out. It's the bobbing. If you have a setting where you can change it where the gun doesn't bob, it doesn't make me as sick. If you can have it where it's
Well, and the walls shift so much too.
But it's the bobbing gun. That
If you are trained with how to fire a gun, so Mike, you would know, like, you're not gonna bob so much. You're just gonna
the earth
I
has
was
its
gonna
own
ask that, like,
natural
who runs
go
with their
it.
gun,
One of
like,
the things
you know,
we should explain to
shifting
people. You
Right.
guys should know that this game is in VR.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in
Oh,
VR.
That's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
You know,
I might have
with-
peed my pants in your living room, Ross, when I played that when I was at your house the first
Uh-huh.
time.
You dribbled a
Ross would
little
come over,
bit.
just touch you on the shoulder, I'd be freaking out. You know, like, ah!
It's pretty exciting.
You know.
you know, I've been a big fan of VR, and so it's
Oh, I
like, oh
love
my
it.
god, it's a totally different experience.
Yeah, we
playing
have
some
so
of
much
these games.
fun.
There's a
They have
Ross
like these
Allen
haunted
VR
house
game.
games on VR that Ross and I will call each other, and we try to time it right to where we can go through at the same time in the game.
Nice.
But even when we do, if I like hold back or do one little thing, then it just
Because
sets
June
us-
likes to look at every little thing.
I
you know?
like to look at things.
Somebody put a lot of effort into that detail. We should.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, after a while, I have to take the headset off a little bit and breathe because it's like, oh,
Get nauseous.
yeah.
I think I played VR 8 hours at Ross.
Don't we have a Ross Allison like cartoon action figure? Something that should have his own VR video game.
Yeah,
Ross
don't give
ghost
June
hunting.
any ideas. She'll make one.
Right?
We'll go.
Take that little Ross cartoon figure and make him a VR.
No,
ghost
we'll
hunter.
have the Ross Investigate series, and we'll start,
Yes.
since we're on the subject of prisons, with Ross in the shower with a bar of soap and a wash rag.
Make me do that.
No. Rated R.
Not rated for anyone under
There'll be that
25.
big
Not rated
booming-
for
There'll be that big booming
MA.
voice behind my head that says,
Yeah.
"Drop the soap, boy."
Yes.
You better get my soap, boy.
But we need a Ross in like every famous like ghost hunting site doing his thing.
Oh no, I'd ruin it all.
But you know
What
what we
was
could
that?
do
What
just
was
to
that?
extend
I
the
was
series
possessed.
is with every pack you get has a different beard extension.
Oh yes. We need a Ross paper doll where you can like
Oh, that would be fun.
Ross Pinata. When you smack it, little EMF meters come out. It'll be
Oh.
amazing.
I would get a Ross doll with little pins.
How do you put those EMF detectors in there?
Stuff them to the
Oh,
Is
I
it
get so
pin
much
the beard
frustration
on the
with
Ross?
that.
So you're gonna cut out like Ross's face? and do
Notice
the
how
pin the beard
Jake
on the
has
Ross?
that hands just right.
How the
He
hell?
knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Oh my gosh, we veered so far off towards our show.
Hey, you
All
know
right.
what?
Woo.
It's like overnight in New York. We're good. Late night.
Isn't there ghosts we could be talking about right now?
Well, we got like 3
I thought we
minutes.
We only have 3 minutes left. Okay.
So what's going on with
Technically, it's
Casper?
after 9.
Anyone
We're
know?
fine. Yeah, it's after 9 p.m. We're okay.
Well, you guys, thank you so much
Yes,
for being
it's so
on
fun.
our show again. And the time went by so fast that, yeah, I still could probably talk for another hour. But
Thanks for asking me.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
was so tired when I got off work.
Us.
I was so tired when I got
Plug,
off work.
plug,
I was like,
plug.
no, why did I want to do this? And it's been so much fun.
Kansas City
very
City
cathartic.
Hauntings available
Kansas
on the
City Hauntings.
Amazon. Is it on Kindle too? I forget.
It's not on Kindle yet, but it might be. But yeah, you can get it on Amazon, or you can buy it at my website.
Okay.
And I'll sign it if you buy it on my website.
Awesome.
Ross has a
If you
whole
find me and
series
give me
called
a copy.
Haunted. I have
Lots
the
of
classic
haunted
Spooked
ones.
in Seattle. Oh, that's not it. Classic Spooked in Seattle. Haunted lighthouses, haunted toys. We had haunted churches.
I have my haunted journal here somewhere.
Yes, my haunted journal. He's got an author's page on Amazon. Just go there and get them all. Eerie
And
Lights is the
soon to
publisher for most
be
of them.
Haunted Prisons is coming out next, and then followed by Haunted Historic Hotels.
Cool.
So,
Michael
And then-
Taylor.
what's that?
Yes.
Mike, we gotta get Michael's deets before the end of the show here.
Oh yeah. So You can find my stuff at Creep Show Paranormal. We're working on a website right now. I've done some stuff for Shaker Cigar Bar in Milwaukee. Yeah, you can find stuff on Facebook, Instagram as well. And we're working on a little mini, I guess, YouTube series for Creep Show Paranormal now, and it's going to be pretty cool. We're mostly focusing on serial killer ghost since we've ghost hunted four serial killers now, and we're trying to touch up on H.H. Holmes next.
Really
interesting.
I will ping you offline.
Nice.
I will ping you for that. Ross, you were saying, because I cut you off to get Michael in, because then I have to jump over to Sonia.
I forgot now.
Okay, Sonia, what's up? How we?
COVID happened, and I got nothing.
Okay.
I'm doing nothing. I'm moving. That's
yeah, you're moving.
So
That's the biggest thing.
I had to literally walk around my house and find a couch to sit on to talk to y'all. So, I'm like, do I have somewhere to sit down?
Well, you do have a porcelain throne. We can do the interview.
Hey, okay.
Whatever works.
Next time.
Whatever works.
Just mute when you flush. Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't mind the paranormal noises in the background.
That's right. We'll get you a candle, like some velvet.
That's some
television. Thank God.
Yeah, that's some Taco Bell demons there, girl.
She ate the case of fire sauce.
Yeah.
Case of fire.
El Taco before the show.
Taco time. Jalapeno popper.
Absolutely. Just for you guys.
We digress quite a bit on this show.
I'm sorry we ruined your show, you guys.
No,
I'm part of it.
Awesome.
I mean, I did go like that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Jake with his fisting techniques, you know.
I was just, you know.
He was filling the pinata.
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta push the little EMF meter in the burrows. Plus, I'm from Wisconsin. That's farm territory. You got to know how to do things. Mike Taylor knows these things now.
Oh Lord, I'm freezing. I'm afraid to go outside. I've ever felt this. I'm in East Tennessee, and I ain't supposed to be up here. This is Canada. Well, Canada, Mike's gone, but I was going to say it's like Canada up there.
I know they're dealing with blizzards, aren't they?
Honestly, they told me, this is what the Wisconsin people told me, this is the warmest winter they've had in years. And I'm like, it's -2 out, dude. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make this. There's not been a solar vortex yet. And usually there's one every year. We haven't had one yet. Couple a year. Yes, Jake's getting me ready. So I've been kind of hiding a little bit inside, you know. But
they do make battery powered warming thermal underwear.
Oh no, yeah.
So you go to Cabela's or the deer hunting store, and you'll be all fixed up with the little heated pad to sit on, and the heated mitts and the heated boots.
Yeah. Yes, I buy the little hot hands. Put them in my shoes.
Set, the vest and the mitts and the pants.
Yep.
And I live in Washington, so I have no excuse. It's 40 degrees. I'm like, where's my vest?
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
We might be real north out here, but it ain't so cold.
Cold now.
It's not very cold out here.
Gosh, we're supposed to do some ghost hunting at the Ed Gein's property. We're getting permission right now, so we're looking at. I've been to the property before. However, you do need to talk to the state. I think the land's for sale right now for $250,000, but there's nothing in Plainsville, Wisconsin. It's an hour and a half north of here,
and the townspeople are not friendly.
No,
they are not friendly in Plainsfield. I've been there a couple times, and no, they're not friendly people.
Yeah,
interesting.
Just a touch scarred. Just a touch scarred.
Yeah,
a little scarred.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, and I mean the descendants are still there, and
right. You know, they don't really want a lot of local, or they would just want local people there. They don't really want a lot of.
They don't want an outsider.
And Mike shows up. Hi, can I investigate your property? Oh my dear, he's not from around here.
Don't worry, I brought my own skin.
Oh, I know.
I brought my own lotion for the skin. Come on.
Oh no.
Man, they'd freak out. Like my little brother, no joke. I don't even know where he got it. I showed it here last time on the show. He got me an Ed Gein action figure for Christmas. Mailed it to me from Tennessee. I'm like, where the heck did you find something like that? You know, like,
Oh.
and then online, people are now digging up Ed Gein. It's kind of sad, actually. They've been digging up Ed Gein's grave, and they're selling dirt and vitals like online.
When you go to the cemetery there and you go to his grave, his headstone's gone because somebody stole it.
It's gone.
But there's a little spot where it's just dug in where people just scoop dirt out. And it's like, come on, people.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
So Mike, how much do you have? How much dirt do you have?
Lord, I've been collecting it. I've been collecting it. It'll make a living.
Trunk is
I
full
do
of
have a
jars.
No, I actually have a brick from the Evil Dead cabin from the actual 1980 Evil Dead movie. I have a brick from the actual fireplace because it was filmed in Tennessee, where I'm from, and in Townsend. So I was fortunate to walk away with a brick somehow. You know, after I visited there a couple times,
You got in the car and it just happened to be.
It just fell. Yeah,
Just
following him around.
And
Those
fell.
demons.
It tripped and fell in.
Just like Ghost Adventures when that brick floated through the whole.
Yeah.
in my
Oh God.
Yeah.
I just
He
became
tripped and it just
possessed.
slipped
I don't
in.
know how
It's
I got this
terrible.
brick. I just became
Showed up.
possessed.
Now where is Bray Road for you? From you
What's that?
for you. Bray Road, as in the Beast of?
Beast
The
of Bray
dog
Road.
man. The dog man.
You have to
down
look
by
that up,
Elkhorn?
Mike.
Bray,
Dogman.
it's basically Dogman, I think. But yeah,
I've heard of
Linda
yeah.
coined it the Beast of Bray Road starting out, and then
Yeah, you have to Google that, Michael. See if see where you
Bing.
can find it.
I've come across the Dogman legend, you know, and there's actual people around here in Oshkosh, just where I live, they believe in that. You know,
Yeah.
there's a group that actually goes hunting for it and stuff. It's a real big deal here. I don't really know much about, you know, the monster and legend Bigfoot stuff, but around here it's huge. Dogman's been seen. It's attacked people.
Yeah,
and
nobody
stuff.
in Washington gives a shit about Bigfoot.
Yeah, you know, for a couple.
There's no Sasquatch.
Never comes up.
It's
Never
the
comes up.
tree
Never
octopuses.
comes up.
That's the thing now.
The tree octopus.
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 Hot damn.
Pulls you out from underneath the bridge. You know,
Yeah.
like, I lived in Tacoma for about 5 years. That's how I met Rob. I was stationed there for Fort Lewis, and you know, I was surprised hearing all these Bigfoot stories. I'm more into ghost hunting. I don't know much about, you know, Dogman here in Wisconsin or Bigfoot. I worked with a group in Tennessee. It kind of reminded me of Duck Dynasty, to be honest with you. These dudes were different. They were different. You know,
monsters.
love them to death. I still work with them. You know, they're great guys. You know, but they're Bigfoot. They're all about Bigfoot. I mean, I was one of the few ghost hunters on their team for a little bit, and they were called Corpse Paranormal. And they went around looking for monsters and all kinds of stuff. They go out camping and looking for Bigfoot all the time. It was wild. Like, I went with them once or twice, and it was creepy. Went to some strange places up in the Smoky Mountains, you know.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
You run into Dolly Parton?
No, unfortunately not yet. Not yet.
A wild dolly in the Smoky Mountains.
The wild dolly. That'd be awesome.
A couple bears up there.
I love
you know.
Her natural habitat.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
evil twin sister.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
got bigger boobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Voluptuosity.
She's 75 today, or was it?
Yeah,
she
it
had
was
her-
yesterday.
Oh,
Last
yeah,
day
yesterday
yesterday.
was her birthday.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it was yesterday. Man, she's a saint. We call her Saint Dolly Parton, and I'm from Knoxville.
She
Tennessee.
seems like she'd be
I
an amazing
agree.
person to meet. Definitely.
Oh
She'd be
yeah,
wonderful.
She seems super.
Yeah.
She does a lot for Tennessee, but she hasn't been by Gatlinburg often or Pigeon Forge area. She doesn't come over there, and that's where I've been to Dollywood too many times to count. I grew up going there, but she doesn't really come by there often. Surprisingly, I think she just stays in California wherever she's at now.
Oh,
You know,
she's in her 70s.
She
Not
toured
getting
not
much
that long
anywhere.
ago.
God.
Yeah, she's still touring. She toured not that
That's
long
amazing.
ago.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
Cher's still touring too.
Wow.
Yeah.
you know, but
She's in her 80s now, isn't she?
Yeah.
No,
something.
she's not that old
She's
yet.
gotta be old.
Cher? Oh, come
No.
on.
Oh, Cher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
70s
Alexa.
for sure.
How old is Cher?
74.
Cher is 74 years old. She was born on May 20th,
My search is faster than the Alexa.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I think we are at the end, over the end of our show,
Mhm.
but just want to thank you again and hope you have a wonderful 2021.
Yeah.
Be safe. You know.
Yes,
Nice.
please.
Gotta be
Yes, be
getting
safe.
better.
Hopefully
Only
we get
way
to
is up.
Oh yes.
Be down in Kansas City sometime.
Woohoo!
At least by the fall.
Yeah.
Y'all come up to Wisconsin. Please do.
Yeah.
I need to get back up to the House on the Rock, so I've got to get back to it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's cool to
Love
see.
that place. Best place.
Oh my gosh, it's not
Well,
far off.
hopefully we're going to be in Salem in, is it May?
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
I don't know if
We'll
that's
see.
happening.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how things go.
June's safe. We're not safe.
I've got one more vaccination shot, then I'll be safe.
Oh yeah,
Safer.
that will be Tuesday.
I check every day. Am I
26.
eligible yet?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Just
now
be
that
prepared.
June's been vaccinated, so now you can find her on GPS.
Right.
Because of that little tracking
I was
chip.
just gonna say,
Get a Wi-Fi
be
signal
prepared
from her.
that second
I hear the
shot's
second
a
one
bit of a
is,
doozy.
yeah. I've been hearing a lot of people's stories. I'm like, oh, great. I'll just make
If
sure
I
I don't
suck your
have
blood,
anything.
June, does that make me immune to it now?
Yeah, that's it. You'll be immune to. I'll give you a pint.
On that
Okay,
note,
guys.
kids,
Yes.
yeah, we'll
We
see
might have
you
jumped a
next
shark.
week. I don't know with what yet.
We will. We will.
It'll be riotous.
Hey, we could do this again.
Yes, let's keep going.
Part 3.
Our weekly.
This could be your show from now on. You know, it's not just one guest. Come on.
Damn Hollywood Square is full of smart Alex.
Yeah.
Do it like press your luck, big bucks, no whammies. Big...
Whammies, no whammies.
Totally.
Oh my God.
All right, guys, everybody, stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
That was